We are back from closed session. City Attorney, is there any reportable action tonight?
There is no reportable action from the closed session. Mayor, what I would propose is that we continue on with our special meeting agenda, but basically merge that with your regular meeting agenda so that the three items you have remaining as new business on your special agenda would become items of new business under your regular agenda to follow item number 4-1. So in other words, 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3 on your special agenda would become 4-2-3-4.
Got it. Maybe 4-2, 4-3, and 4-4.
Yes.
Okay. Council, do I have consensus to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. So with that, we will start our regular meeting. It is November 18th, 2025. It's 6:07 in the Selma City Council chambers at 1710 Tucker Street in Selma, California. Teleconference phone number is 301-715-8592. The webinar ID is 891-6864-5005. When on the phone, if you wish to address the council during the public comment portion of the agenda, press star 9 to raise your hand and we will select you from the meeting queue. Press star 6 to unmute and mute yourself. Notice to meeting attendees, members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of threatening or abusive language or other acts which disturb, disrupt, or impede or otherwise render the orderly conduct of a city council meeting infeasible. And tonight, our invocation is from Pastor Jose Alvarez of the Iglesia Antioquia. Welcome, Pastor. I don't see a Dodger shirt on. It's off season. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. The flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, because our city clerk isn't here, I will call the roll tonight. Councilmember Avalos.
Here.
Councilmember Oseguera.
Here.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
And Mayor Robertson, myself, is also here. Potential conflicts of interest. Any council member who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Agenda changes or deletions to better accommodate members of the public or inconvenience in the order of presentation. Items on the agenda may not be presented or acted on in the order listed. Additions to the agenda may be added only pursuant to California Government Code Section 54954.2b. City Attorney, do we have any such changes or deletions tonight?
Nothing to add or to delete other than the merging of the special agenda as previously noted on the record.
So noted. Thank you. Moving on to oral communications. At this time, any member of the public may address the City Council regarding any item on the regular meeting agenda over which the council has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the city manager for review. Members of the public are asked to limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Do we have any oral communications at this time? If so, please come forward. Anyone on the phone or online with a oral communications at this time?
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to our special presentation segment of our meeting. Our first special presentation is a proclamation presented by the officers of Senator Caballero and Assemblymember Arambula, recognizing the life and contributions of former Mayor Dennis Lujan. You have a report tonight.
Yes. Mayors and members of the council, tonight, the City of Selma is honored to acknowledge a proclamation presented by the offices of Senator Ana M. Caballero and Assemblymember Joaquin Arambula. The special recognition honors the late Honorable Dennis Lujan for his lifetime of public service and his dedication to the City of Selma. The proclamation from the state legislator celebrates his leadership and legacy, and we extend our gratitude to the Representative Luis Martinez here this evening for joining us in honoring his contributions.
Hit your mic. The green button.
Let me start again. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Council members. It's my pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of Senator Caballero. My name is Luis Martinez, as District Representative from the office, Senator Caballero. We wanted to honor the life of Honorable Dennis Lujan today. Just kind of for the record, we had one of his nephews was one of our interns, so Senator Caballero really wanted to come out here and do this today. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about our resolution today. Again, my name is Luis Martinez with the office of Senator Caballero. Today we want to honor the Honorable Dennis Lujan, who was a distinguished California resident, devoted civic leader, whose good deeds earned him the respect and admiration of his colleagues and the countless individuals whose lives he touched. Mr. Lujan will be long remembered for his lifetime of service, which has become an integral part of the story and heritage of his beloved hometown. His dedication to strengthening the city of Selma and bringing people together, Mr. Lujan faithfully served the community for nearly 3 decades, from the early 1990s and continuing through the mid-2020s. On the Selma City Council, including multiple terms as mayor, helping to guide the city through many seasons of growth and change. Furthermore, as a small business owner, Mr. Lujan championed the values of Selma and worked to strengthen the fabric of the community, welcoming generations of residents to Lujan's barbershop in downtown Selma, which became a cornerstone of the city and a reflection of Selma's small town spirit, where he had created a gathering place for friendship, conversations, and care. He was known throughout his life for leading with integrity and kindness. Mr. Lujan listened to neighbors, mentored youth, and brought people together, qualities that earned him deep respect across the community. While in his personal life, he treasured his family, taking pride in his roles as a husband, father, and grandfather, while passing on a legacy of service, hard work, and love that continues through his family stewardship and barbershop. Mr. Lujan will forever be remembered as a beacon of hope for those who have committed themselves to improving the quality of life for future generations. Our office wants to join the family and friends of the Honorable Dennis Lujan in celebrating and revering the accomplishments and legacy of a distinguished and caring individual who lived life to its fullest, whose generosity was extended without hesitation or expectation of reward, and whose spirit will live forever in the hearts and memories of his beloved ones and his beloved city. So on behalf of Senator Caballero, I want to present the family with the state resolution signed by Senator Caballero and Assemblymember Arambula. Family, come up.
Yeah, good job. Can you come up to the front so we can get a picture with everybody? Can you come on up? Good job. Good. Thanks to the Lujan family for coming out. Really appreciate it. Well-deserved honor. Haven't seen you guys since the funeral. Good to see you. Okay, moving on to our next item. Item 1.2 is a special presentation for the Von Roach Solar Streetlight presentation. That'll be Director Han's presentation tonight.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight I have Representative Jacob Fox from Von Roche who's here with us. I also have hopefully online Dale Curtis, the manager of the branch of Von Roche that we've been dealing with in recent applications that we've been doing around Selma. This is a conversation that I'm bringing to the council tonight. It's a kind of a two-part. The biggest part of this is education on Von Roche's products, on their solar lighting options. I want to remind the council, this is also an option that was presented by A&M Engineering, who's doing our Second Street beautification project. When they came and presented, they presented with solar options from Von Roche for the street lighting, which accrued a huge savings in the total cost of the project and presented the city with extremely sustainable lighting for that project. So we're going to do a PowerPoint presentation, more educational, to kind of get the council and members of the public kind of up to speed with what we're looking at. And the second part of that is I've had Mr. Curtis put together a standard. Something that Public Works and Engineering are looking at doing currently is trying to standardize the Von Roche solar lights for new developments. And I'll let them speak a little more in depth about that during the presentation. But I can tell you that they are meeting tomorrow with one of our local builders, and they're working with them on other projects around the country. So this is something that for sustainability, again, for cheaper cost impacts for residents through the LLMD tax roll allocations. This is something that we are looking to actually adopt for city standards such as other local municipalities. Number A, or letter A, sorry. So I'll let Mr. Fox go ahead and take over, and we'll start with the PowerPoint presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacob Fox. I'm a representative for Von Roche Solar Lighting. We've been working with Public Works for about a year now on some projects to better the infrastructure throughout the city. So today, I just kind of wanted to come up here, educate the council on the resolutions and solutions we provide, as well as also be able to answer some questions for you guys. So I'm not sure if Dale is here over online, but he was supposed to be here. He was in Oakland for a meeting, but he got stuck in traffic. So Selma Thomas Solar Lighting mission. So own and control street lighting infrastructure and implement renewable energy while improving cost, responsiveness, safety, and security. Kind of a little bit more on that. So we worked with the city of Coalinga to write a solar standard, and some of the reasons why they did this was because of PG&E service timelines. So when one of their lights would go out, PG&E would take about 6 months to 2 years to come out and service the light, get it up and running in the community, and that has a lot of safety concerns and security concerns throughout the city. Grid connected lighting is expensive. Solar lighting is autonomous, so it's not connected to the power grid. It's its own system on its own, so you don't have to pay the utility, stuff like that. Another point is the city has aging arch circuits that are a danger to the community. We've worked with Public Works to try to address these aging arch circuits that are hazardous to the community. And then it helps the city have common reliable standards throughout. So solar lighting solutions, it decreases the dependence on PG&E. There's been an 18% increase in rates over the years. Solar lighting decreases the cost So there's no expensive trenching, there's no wiring, there's no conduit to install. It's its own autonomous system. So you don't have to pay the utilities on it, stuff like that. So another point is the decrease in aging infrastructure hazard. City of Selma has the art circuits. They're dangerous to the community, stuff like that. So 10 to 12-year maintenance cycle. So our systems are 10 to 12-year maintenance cycles. So you don't have to have public works maintenance teams out there always messing with them, taking their time away from other projects and stuff like that. And then it allows the city to have ownership over their street lighting infrastructure. So you don't have to deal with PG&E, taking a while to do maintenance on your lights. You don't have to pay the utilities, stuff like that. So the economics behind solar lighting. Grid tied lighting has been around for a long time. It's the traditional form of infrastructure, but it's time consuming, it's expensive. First, you have to go get a circuit design and permitting. You have to bring power to the site through boring and trenching. You have to install the pedestal. You have to turn up all the soil, stuff like that. And then you have to go through and repair it. So with solar street lighting, you completely negate all of that. It's essentially installing a footing, and then planting the light like or planting the light like a tree. So you're just completely eliminating all the costs of it and the economics of it. So any questions so far? No. So reliability, how does it work? So we have 50 lighting engineers that do solar studies for specific projects. So what they do is they take the worst case scenario, 10-year solar radiancy analysis, for example, the city of Selma, and they size it for a cloudy, rainy week per se in January. And when they do this, they're able to guarantee that the system is sized for that worst case scenario. So when it's let's say a sunny day in August, the batteries will be charged by 10 or 11. This is how we guarantee that these things are going to work for you guys 365 days a year. There's a ton of analysis on it, a ton of studies that the engineers do. And that's kind of how we do that. We used advanced battery technology. In the past, solar lighting manufacturers have used lead acid or lithium ion systems. The problem with those is the depth of discharge in warmer and colder climates, and then also the maintenance cycle. We standardize on nickel metal hydride batteries. It's a different battery chemistry. We're the only solar lighting manufacturer that does this. And the reason for that is the depth of discharge in cold and warm climates. It doesn't degrade the battery. It doesn't take the charge out of the battery. And then it also gets you to those 10 to 12-year benchmark maintenance cycles, which is very desirable for public works and stuff like that. So another thing that nobody else is doing is we offer a 8-year full parts and labor warranty. So if anything were to go wrong, we would have you guys covered, parts and labor, without a doubt. So
And labor.
any questions so far?
Yeah, on the life, you said 8 years
Mhm.
warranty. I mean, you back it up 8 years. But what is the initial life on the solar battery itself? I know it should be past the 8-year mark.
Yeah. So
What is the average?
our power centers are guaranteed for 10 to 12 years. Our longest install in the United States is in South Dakota. It's going on its 11th year and they still haven't had to replace it. But to answer your question, it's a 10 to 12-year maintenance cycle for the actual power center. So the power center is essentially the brains of the system. It's got the battery management system. It's got the motherboard. It's got all the drivers, everything. It's about $600 to $800 to replace that. It's plug and play. So one end goes into the fixture, one end goes into the solar panel that acts as a photo cell. And in that 10 to 12 years, it will run free, but then you just essentially slide it in. There's a base plate, you slide it in, and I'll explain it more on the next slide. You slide it in, you plug it into the fixture, and then you plug it into the panel, and then you have a full system refresh for another 10 to 12 years. So
if I can real quick, I want to touch on the warranty part of it. So Jacob's telling you part of the warranty that 8 years is parts and labor. That means 8 years anything that happens to that light, it's taken care of 100%, that we don't spend the labor costs on it or anything, but the warranties run deeper than that 8-year hands-free warranty. The solar panels, I believe, are a 30-year warranty.
Correct, yep, 30 years.
The pole and the arm itself is a 20-year warranty. And then the batteries are the 8 to 10-year warranty. So the battery, I just don't want council to get confused with what that 8-year parts and labor, that means 8 years, anything that goes wrong with it, we don't touch it. After 8 years, the other parts are warranted. We would get those parts replaced with at no charge, no cost to the city. But after the 8 years, we would have to go and replace those parts with our city staff. But it is warranted. Like I said, the solar panels, 30 years, 20 years on the arm and the pole, and then 8 to 10 on the battery. So I just wanted to clarify that.
So yeah, a little bit more about the maintenance. I know we just touched on it. So as you can see under that base plate, it's essentially a biocarbonate briefcase. It houses the battery management system, the batteries, the motherboard, everything. That's the brains of the system, we say. It slides right under the base plate, and it's plug and play, like I was saying. So one end goes in the fixture, one end goes in the solar panel. In that 10 to 12 years, all city staff has to do is go up, switch out the battery, plug it in, and then you're up and running for another 10 to 12 years. We're a $500 million company. We're the largest solar manufacturer in the world. We have over 300,000 systems deployed worldwide. So we have 50 R&D engineers all the time, always trying to better the batteries, always trying to get to those new benchmarks of maintenance. And we're anticipating in the next couple of years to be able to continue to push that envelope to be more so into the 10 to 15 years. It's just an ever evolving industry, but we're at the forefront of being being the best of the best, if that makes sense.
So, if given the technological advances,
Mhm.
what happens if the technology advances fourfold and we're stuck with these paperweights? Can we upgrade? Is there anything in the contract that allows us to upgrade to the most current technology? How does that work? How does upgrade work?
Yeah, definitely. So everything that we're doing is always in mind that we have older models. So we have older fixtures that are still being in use, but the power center itself will always stay the same. Maybe there'll be different battery chemistry, but the motherboard and battery management system won't change. So anything moving forward would be compatible with what you already have, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Another thing with the maintenance is we have a thing called FonRush Connect. It's a central controlled monitoring system through LoRa Cellular. And what this enables maintenance teams or public works to do is actually monitor the depth of discharge in the battery, monitor the carbon emissions that you're being saved on, monitor the status of the lights, being able to submit tickets for stuff like that. So Public Works is able to monitor their public lighting infrastructure through the FonRush Connect. Essentially, it's a gateway that slides right under, and anything in a 1 to 3 mile radius is able to communicate on that gateway. It's a one-time charge. It's not a subscription fee based. So once you have the gateway, you're up and running. So any questions on that?
I just want to ask you, made a comment in regards to what the city has now
Mhm.
is dangerous. Can you elaborate on that? What we have now, why would you would mention that it's dangerous?
I'll take that question, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra. So currently, we have 3 known arc circuits in the city of Selma. Arc circuits are obsolete. They were put in pre and post World War II. They're what's called a daisy chain system. The current lights that we have, like regular Cobra Head street lights, they have a circuit, they have a breaker. So if the connection is broke, it trips the breaker. So it kills the energy to the power source is killed to the pole. The arc circuits don't work that way. There is no middle breaker. So an example is we had a project a couple years ago where a street saw, can I use your mic, please? A street saw that was cutting the asphalt to do road work cut through one of those arc lines. and you can't turn the power off. To be honest with you, the contractor's lucky that there wasn't a very serious injury from that occurrence that happened. That was brought to my attention, and then I started going through all of the 3 arc circuits that we have currently and researching with cities such as San Mateo that just went through 3 years ago and did I believe it was a $12 million lighting project where they brought solar light in to replace all of their arc circuits. I was very unfamiliar of what those were, so I had to educate myself. The bottom line is we have 3 of them currently. The first project that I tried to get started a year ago with Mr. Fox from Fon Roche was for the 13 lights that start on Mill Street, come across the intersection at Third, go all the way down to East Front, and then turn on East Front Street. There's 13 lights on that circuit, and that's when we first brought Fon Roche in after doing a lot of research on who is the leading vendor right now. Again, not to get long-winded, Fon Roche was the company we picked because Fon Roche manufactures in-house all of their product. Other solar companies, we found once we went down the rabbit hole that they were piecing parts from different countries, shipping them here, putting them together, and then selling them. But the warranties, when we went through all that with accounts, they weren't there. Fon Roche is leading that in the industry right now. So those arc circuits, that's one of them. We have another arc circuit that comes up off of Arents, runs down part of McCall, comes onto East Front Street. There are 53 lights on that arc circuit. So the goal, the end goal here for Public Works and for the city of Selma is to try to eliminate those potential hazards. Literally, a car could drive into a light, the wires make contact with the frame of the car, and the car's energized. So they need to come out. So to Mr. Fox's comment about unsafe lights, that is verbiage coming directly from me to him in the original assessment of what we're doing here. I think he's just reiterating to council that these do exist within the city.
So yeah, obviously with solar lighting, it's 100% renewable energy. We do all of our recycling on the batteries. We do about 96% of it. So in that time, say that the batteries, at the end of its life cycle, what you do is you just contact us. We'd ship out the new batteries, and then give the battery back, and we'd recycle about 96% of it. Another thing is avoiding the conduit and wire infrastructure. You're not tearing up the existing soil or infrastructure that's already there. And then that's just much less intrusive for installation. So right there, you can see a picture in Stockton. They've had a lot of wire theft issues. So what they did is they essentially used us as their permanent solution because there's no conduit in the ground, obviously. So that's on March Lane. That was a 20 light project that we did with them, and then as well as in Augusta. So it's an environmental way to look at public street lighting infrastructure. So yeah, this was one of the arch circuits that Michael was just mentioning. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a look at kind of what we do. So this is the design work that our in-house engineers do. They do all the photometrics. So that shows the foot candle averages, the lumen outputs, and everything like that. So we guarantee that these things are going to work every night of the year through our system sizing and through our project successes throughout the world and in the United States. And this is a quick solution to fixing those arch circuits because we can essentially use the existing foundation, put a pole on top, and then you're up and running for 10 to 12 years. Any questions on that?
Yeah, do we have a price on how much it'll cost to replace all the arc circuits?
So I do not have a cost for all of them. I can tell you the original quote from Fon Roche for the 13 light arc circuit was right under 70,000 for all 13 of those light fixtures. And back to the foundation that Jacob was speaking of, The good thing about Fon Roche is that we don't have to put in new foundations like we did for the Musco lights out there. They have an adapter plate where when we kill that energy to that circuit and pull the Hollywood poles off, we actually can put an adapter plate on the existing foundations. Those light poles mount directly to that. So it's very unintrusive. Again, there's no infrastructure required. And I can tell you that an example of install was the pickleball lights. Again, the guys got those up in 3 days and they've never installed the lights before. So very user friendly.
And how do they help during the install? Do they come out and do they have somebody on call? that can
Yeah,
answer
we
questions?
have 100% tech support. Jacob offered to even come down from Idaho for the install, but it was only 6 lights. He talked through it on the phone with Ulysses Maravilla, my supervisor, and one of my leads. They went out. The first light took them about half a day. Once they figured out the first light, it was off and running. So it was quite easy. But yeah, we have 24-hour tech support from Fun Rush.
We also have a distribution facility out of Monterey Park in Southern California, and we have a team of 5 installation help. They essentially are support. So if there's ever a case where a local agency requests support, they are mobilized to the location and they do hands-on training. They help install stuff like that. So we have an installation support group.
Are these smart lights so they'll actually communicate with other people offsite and let you know what's wrong with them, or do you have to actually go and diagnose the problem there on site?
Yeah, so through Fawners Connect, we usually notice before the local agency if something's wrong because we are monitoring all of the data points coming in from the gateways. But in an instance where there is an issue, you would just submit a support ticket. And then we would be in contact with you the same day or the next day, helping to troubleshoot and resolve the issue. If we need to have people here to do it, that 8-year parts and labor warranty, we'll have someone out here to help. So we have you guys covered for that 8 years. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And then the theft exposure. So they'll have batteries. What are people stealing these days? Are they now stealing the batteries or what's going on?
Well, one good thing about this system is that, again, those little plastic boxes, that's up above at the very top of the pole. So accessing those would be extremely difficult for somebody that was looking to do just mischievous theft. One of the reasons, it's not the main reason, but I get emails constantly from different vendors because the copper wire theft is an extreme issue. It's happening everywhere. We even have had cases here in Selma where they've gotten right there to the point where they've got the plate off the side of the pole, cut the wires, but the wires are still there and they either got spooked off. So it's been attempted even here in Selma. So again, this system pretty much eliminates that opportunity.
Mhm. Just another point on that. Our power center is proprietary, so there's no other uses for it. Even if someone were to get up there and fiddle with it, they would not have another use for it. Yes, they could take the batteries out, but they couldn't like plug into anything like people have done in the past with lead acid batteries or anything like that. So there's no other use for a power center besides what it's meant to be doing. So yeah, this is just a rendering. So you guys have an idea of kind of what it looks like.
Just so council knows too, these bell fixtures are actually the ones that A&M proposed in their presentation for the the Clean California grant. Those, so just so you kind of understand my thought process, we've looked at the downtown district signs, the white with the blue letters and the downtown logo. For Clean California, if this is the direction we choose to go, trying to standardize that downtown district with identifiers. One would be like the street signs we've looked at. These bell-shaped lights would also be an identifier when you're in downtown Selma. You know when these lights are out there that you're in the downtown district. These lights are not the typical like Cobra head street lights for new track development, which I gave you a handout. It's on each one of your on the dais there. And we'll talk about that in a moment, but, these lights, if that's what we're gonna go with, I would like to standardize that downtown district, so it's a quick identifier. If you see the white with blue letter sign with the logo, or you see these lights, you know you're in the downtown district.
Okay, and you'd be replacing, based on council decision, all the lights, all the
All the
black street
Hollywoods.
lights, as you call them, the Hollywoods,
Yes.
with lights that look like that. in the
Yes, and they would
downtown.
also be black matte the same way, the powder coating, but yes.
But it goes
that-
beyond
that-
downtown, so what would you do beyond the downtown?
That would be where we would refer to our new standard that I would like to introduce to council and get buy-in for actually placing in our new revised city standards for future developments, particularly like big tracts of homes. The benefit to this, I think, is cost savings to the residents for the power bills that they're paying on the tax roll for LLMDs. But it's also sustainable for public works and for maintenance for the city. So again, I don't want to get in front of Jacob here, but Kalinga has standardized this. This is in their city standard now. So if you have new development, this is required. And that's kind of the direction we're looking.
Just quickly, the poles that we have now, so you're saying that those would be replaced by these poles?
That's correct. Yeah.
There's different fixture styles and color combinations, so that rendering is not specifically what it would be, but there's different options that could be chosen. That's just what A&M was proposing for the SR 99.
If I may, council, I believe when we did the Clean California workshop, when we talked about it, I think it was the lantern standard that we talked about for downtown. Not the bell shaped. I believe it was more the lantern looking standard that was provided. So just to clarify, when we did the workshop for Clean California on the main Second Street, this was one of the standards presented, but I
Back into the
believe,
tracks.
I believe council chose the lantern standard.
To Mr. Fox's comment, there are several options for design
Yeah.
from Von Roche.
I don't think we're there yet. We're just kind of doing ideas right now.
Next slide, please. Slide as well. So yeah, why Ponroche? We are the only solar lighting manufacturer approved for permanent infrastructure with the Los Angeles Bureau of Street Lighting. It's the world's largest bureau of street lighting. We've worked with them to help address their wire theft issues. As of now, we have done over 1,000 installs with the Los Angeles Bureau of Street Lighting, and in the next coming years, we're going to do 1,500, 2,000, et cetera, with them. So we're the largest solar lighting manufacturer in the world. Excuse me. We have 50 R&D engineers. There are only for solar lighting and continuing to always provide better product for local agencies. We have about 250,000 solar lights around the world. As I mentioned, we have our Monterey Park, California facility to address all the demand throughout California because we work with the majority of the largest cities in California and across the states. And we're Buy America compliant. So any BABA projects for Buy America Steel, we're compliant. Solar lighting standards for the following California cities. We're standardized with Vallejo, California, and the Bay, Coalinga, California, Mendota, California, Stockton, California, Richmond, California, Vista, National City, Bakersfield, Richmond, and Menifee. So we have a strong track record of providing a cost-effective, reliable solution for local agencies' public lighting infrastructure. So requested resolutions, a solar lighting standard with Von Roche Lighting America to help be a cost-effective alternative to PG&E, help lower utility rates, take control of the city's infrastructure and maintenance, make public works lives easier, and then increase safety for the art circuits. So some conclusions of the benefits. Solar lighting significantly improves visibility in dark areas, reducing accidents and injuries. Crime deterrent, well-lit spaces deter criminal activity, fostering a sense of security for residents and visitors. Community engagement, improved lighting, encourage people to utilize public spaces, enhance social interactions and community cohesion. Cost-effective solution, solar lighting requires no extensive wiring, minimizing installation costs and avoiding the financial burden of grid extensions. Low maintenance, these systems have reduced maintenance needs, ensuring long-term reliability and efficiency. Psychological benefits, well-lit environment, boost community morale, making residents feel safer and more connected. Accessibility in underserved areas, solar lighting provides vital safety improvements in areas lacking infrastructure, promoting equity and inclusion. And then sustainable future, so emphasizing renewable energy aligns with commitment to sustainable responsibility in government. So any questions on kind of everything? I'm sorry, yeah, this is also my first council presentation and
You're
I
doing
was a
great.
little nervous.
No, good job.
In the absence of
awesome.
Mr. Curtis, you did a great job. Thank
You
you,
did.
Jacob. I appreciate
Good
it.
job.
Yeah.
Any questions from anybody here tonight? Anybody online or on the phone with some questions for Curtis?
I see no hands raised, Mayor.
Right, we'll bring it back to council. So I think this is just kind of an overview at this point. Are you looking for, it's a presentation, are you looking for consensus or direction from council to?
I
see
just
what
brought
the
this,
would
I
look
did
like?
not bring this as an action item. I brought this mainly for a conversation to
Okay.
discuss the direction that we would like to move forward in.
I know what I was thinking about was, how much it's gonna cost to take the old light poles away, how much it's gonna cost to buy the new ones and put it in, and the maintenance seems like it's included in the 8-year warranty, so that's a good deal. But I think we gotta get a handle on how much it's gonna cost and what's the cost gonna be in the timeline, buy them and install them.
Agreed. And I'd like to discuss this with my new city manager as well.
Sounds great.
So.
With that, we'll move on. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Drive safely. We'll move on to our next special presentation item, which is a Madison AI demonstration. Deputy City Manager King.
Just taking control of the presentation. Rejoin as panelists. All right. So staff worked with, we've been working for over a year with Madison AI. Madison AI is a company that was actually founded in a joint partnership with a public agency of all things to help promote better continuity and efficiencies within local government. The easiest way to describe this is an AI tool built on your own information and history, right? And so what we've done is we've worked with Madison AI to compile, historical records that have been adopted by the city over time. We've uploaded resolutions dating back to the 40s, meeting minutes, agenda packets, staff reports, adopted policies like the general plan, specific plans, zoning ordinances, personnel rules. And so it becomes like a living brain of institutional knowledge for staff to access when you have a city manager on his second day and he's asked a question about something. He can type in a prompt and get an answer of where to at least start his search. And that's invaluable in government when, demands are high, responses are requested in an efficient, but usually in a short time frame because everybody has expectations, everybody has needs on when they want information provided, whether it's a developer looking for prior approvals and conditions that were adopted as part of a prior project so they can do a pro forma on that project to determine whether they want to buy it or not and get lending from their financial institution, or someone looking for parking fines and what was the most recent fee schedule for parking fines, which was a request. And I'm going to show you how quickly someone like me who had no idea we even had parking fines, how to find that. And so what we did was, just to give the demonstration, Oh, you have to share the screen. So code enforcement reached out to the city clerk and asked for the most recent fee schedule on parking fines, because I guess, Chief, you can correct me if I'm wrong, code enforcement is going to be implementing parking fines, or at least they were doing research on what the most recent fees were.
Correct.
Cool. All right. And so someone like me, I don't work in PD, and I sit across from the city clerk who's preparing the agenda. I said, let me help. And all I asked was, please identify the most recent schedule of fees for parking fines for the city of Selma. Mind you, I have no idea when that was done. It may have been before I was born, for all I know. So it goes through all the documents, and I can show you, if I can move this. You can see our directory. In our directory data, you have thousands of files that have been uploaded, code, resolution, agenda files, which is scrubbing our website for the agenda packets as they're posted. So as new agendas are posted, the model is updated with the most recent information, right? As we add things, it becomes more evident what we're doing. And so what it actually pulled up was the current budget, but the historical fines were adopted in 1993 by the city council. And I can then pull the actual resolution for that item. And so something that would have required someone being here since 1993, possibly, and understanding where that was done, someone with no knowledge can pull it up and help staff identify what the accurate information is. Continuity of staff helps agencies be consistent with how they regulate the public, with how they administer policy. And so this 93-114 is the resolution. And it identifies when it was done, when it went into effect, what the fines were. Were there any inflation adopted with that? Probably not. But at the end of the day, it helps us be better. And so through this collaboration and numerous sessions of testing, staff worked with Madison AI on this tool, which is available to staff at the city, which includes council members, which includes department heads, which includes low-line staff of all levels, to help everybody work from more or less the same information historically, which again, continuity of staff, continuity of information is paramount when an agency wants to assure that their standards are being administered evenly. So the other example I had was for someone like me with development projects, you could ask, please provide a chronological history of the adoptions related to tract 5217, which is the most recent subdivision map that was adopted by the city prior to tonight. If the council considers the item on the agenda, what it will do is it'll scrub the history and provide a chronological detail of when it was originally adopted, each phase. Maybe there's other items in between, tentative map, final map, subdivision agreement, release of bonding. All of these type of things are related to tract 5217. So it should pull all that information as we go. So it started in 2003. And so for us, being able to find this information is invaluable when we have questions from applicants about where's my project or when did this happen? Who approved it? Can you pull that file on what the conditions of approval were? This type of information just allows us to be better, right? On top of that, some of the other, and like I said, it starts in 2003, 2004, 2006, and then it went all the way to 2018 was the next phase of that map that was approved. And so it'll track all those things. And again, it provides all the citations of, related to that item that are in the database. And so for us, you can also, they have tools set up to provide research on a topic, briefings, timelines, code analysis. For council meetings, it can prepare briefings of questions that may be asked on an item. If an item's coming up, you can pull up historical questions. So you could ask, anticipated questions, draft talking points. What is the voting history on this item? If it's a item that's spanned a long period of time, you could draft minutes, you could create a citizen newsletter on a topic. Budget and planning, yeah, it runs budget analysis, so it'll pull from our budgets. They specifically code it to read our budgets because our budgets are formatted a certain way so that you can get information from year to year for comparison. We've also adopted the internal policies. So things like personnel rules. How have the personnel rules changed over time? How have specific department policies changed over time? You can upload those items and it becomes, again, an issue of continuity. How has it changed over time? What did we used to do? Why did we used to do that? And why did it change? And then lastly, it can help start a staff report. And I look at certain staff because staff reports are hard. Doing research and finding information on top of our other duties can be hard. And so getting jump started, but you need still, for all of us, we rely on the information, but we still verify, right? We go back and make sure what it's telling us is actually true. And so even with the parking example, I still pulled the resolution and read the resolution, but after you verify it, that it's accurate, you send it off, right? Same thing with the staff reports. You have it drafted. In this age of AI, you trust but verify. Anything you do, you have it do it, and then you walk through all the citations. You walk through all of the information provided to ensure it is actually accurate and it's not hallucinating or misinterpreting the information provided. So for us as staff, it is just another tool to make us better. And in addition, like I said, it's available to all of us on the city email server because it uses Active Directory verification. So we can send out the link to all the council members. We can send it out to all the department heads and staff. There are some other implementation steps we're still going through, but that's where this is at. So available for questions.
Okay, so we just saw it last council meeting, 27 grand. That's what caught my attention. Is this worth $27,000? I mean, to me, it looks like a pretty cool gizmo, but is it worth 27,000? Is it going to save that much time on staff to justify $27,000? And that 27,000 bucks, is that, it's a licensing fee, it's a user fee. Is that going to continue every year or is that just a one time?
It's an
Because it
annual.
has to keep adding, right? Keep
I
adding
mean, there's an
material.
implementation and a licensing fee, right? And so annually it would be about, I think it's about 27,000, split through multiple departments. You have HR and you have admin that cover costs for those as well as IT. In terms of replacement of staff, I mean, that's a part-time staff person that otherwise you're having department heads spend days or high-level staff researching items. So the cost, and if it's in the low 30s in terms of time lost working on other things, standard updates, infrastructure master plans, assuring that projects are meeting timely deadlines for processing, I would say, yeah, I would say the efficiencies covered to ensure continuity over time outweigh the what I would deem reasonable cost for a tool that can help staff be efficient, timely, and provide the best service possible to the public.
In terms of guardrails, how much information is on there that people shouldn't have access to? I mean, could you look up who got, arrested for a DUI in 1980 and beyond?
No.
Who has had charges, things that of a personal nature that shouldn't be accessible?
No, understood. This is all public information. These are all items that are available to the public through PRA, apart from police reports, which have limited availability to certain people. All this information is, like I said, resolutions that have been presented at public meetings, adopted policies, and other items that if the public were to come in and ask for those, there would be limited to no reason to withhold it.
So the access to this is controlled by this system. Who controls access to the
I
system?
mean, it's a cloud-based system, but the only people that can sign into it are people with logins to the city. So it's city employees and people with city emails.
Okay, so just city employees at this point.
Okay.
Legally, how much is subpoenable on this in terms of the AI?
How much is what?
Subpoenable. What if plaintiff's attorney is looking for records? Can they actually use this as a tool to go fishing, or does it have, would it have to be specific? Does this create a legal exposure for the city, or is it just simply just a vast storage
If it's,
location?
if it's limited to public information such as resolutions, ordinances, minutes of meetings, documents that are clearly disclosable in response to a Public Records Act request.
These wouldn't be private emails or anything that's discussed in closed session
That's
that would be
that would be the
disclosable.
problem. You know, the problem that you would run into is sometimes I have you adopt confidential resolutions in closed session. Those should not be accessible. Those would not be publicly disclosable. And if they're accessible on that to just to any employee, that employee can potentially take that document and put it somewhere else and publicly disclose it, perhaps inadvertently, perhaps intentionally. You wouldn't want to have a situation where you could monitor one-on-one communications or communications that are occurring in a privileged context, such as in closed session.
Got it.
But as long as it's limited to
exposure.
accessing information that is truly public record, deeds, resolutions, contracts, minutes of meetings, that sort of thing, that's fine. But that seems to me to be the problem. Can it access, for example, how many times has the city attorney communicated with the city manager? That would be a privileged communication.
Could it comment on that?
No. That's not part of what's been uploaded to the database.
Yeah.
That's a completely separate, completely isolated bunch of information that is not part of this.
Yeah, essentially anything that is done here on the dais that the public has comment on and so on is what is uploaded. And there, and then additionally, you have to have a city login, city password to do that. It logs every request from whoever does it. So, you know, if somebody does inadvertently upload something that they're not supposed to, you can track that down through the Madison AI system. That's probably a stronger way than if somebody were to just take it out to the street and, you know, give it to somebody. So nothing is 100% secure. You know, anybody can do with mind to do malfeasance can, you know, do something bad. But, you know, that it's incumbent upon directors to be able to go through there and look at it and make sure that, you know, stuff is being done right. Margie and I met earlier today about developing some stringent AI policies related to this with training to go along with it. So that way staff does know how to access, how to use it and move forward. But I ran through it today myself regarding Amberwood track that's coming up later. Not having much information on it myself coming in here new. And it provided so much more information than what I would have been able to have in, you know, just 2 days.
So it was a good research tool for you to look up a development project.
Yes, a lot of information that I would have been coming in really cold on, you know, otherwise.
Okay, I have a quick question in regards to the council, because we are the policymakers. How does it benefit the council? For example, like say on a council meeting, if there is an agenda that say we have a question on, or something's come up on it, and we want to get into there and just pull it up. How can we benefit from that?
You have access to it as well while
Okay.
we're testing, making sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. The information's uploaded appropriately. It can be made available to the council, and it is available because you have a city login. And so when you receive your agenda, if you have a question on an item, you can type it in and it can give you the background on that item, prior actions by council, all the documents that are associated previously with that item, to give you background so that when you come into council, you have, if it was an item that maybe from before you were on council, you have history of what was done, right? And so that's the type of continuity for decision makers that we've talked about over time. Leaving breadcrumbs, well, this finds the breadcrumbs for you, right? In order to find maybe what the policy was and maybe why it was adopted at that time and maybe why it needs to be changed. I don't know. I think it gives just another tool for continuity and better government to serve the residents of Selma.
How would you source this, city attorney? Usually you source, this seems like it's transparent. You would go back into resolutions, and like Deputy City Manager said, I looked up that resolution in 93 on parking meters. Well, he's gonna refer to that resolution. How do we source that so people know that it was looked up on Madison AI? Because I would assume that over the next few years, people are saying that it's proliferating. There'll be other competitors for Madison AI. How do you differentiate between your sources? And will you need to differentiate between your sources of where you're getting that information if you're citing them in your arguments or your resolutions?
If I may, city attorney, or city manager, I'll defer to city.
Yeah, well, and maybe we're going the same way, but part of that is through the policy that is developed, where, we make a notation that it's, if a report was drafted in part by it, then there is a notation on the report that says drafted in part by Madison AI or something like that. So that way, and that's what I've seen on similar AI policies in government that have been making the rounds lately and coming up lately.
That's how people are telling the truth, differentiating fact from fiction on these videos. They actually, some of them clearly say that they're AI generated, but not all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them, not all of them. But what we would want to do is we want to be transparent as possible.
Just still so new, there's a lot of suspicion about AI. You hear the term AI, it's good and it's bad. And it's just, I want to make sure that everybody knows where this information is coming from.
And to the mayor's question, I think also when we Google things and we find sources, we don't say found through Google, we cite the source, right? And so in the example of the resolution, it's basically an internal Google type tool for us. We would reference the resolution if it was just the data source, right? We would just reference the resolution. To the city manager's point, the policy would dictate how much of it may have been written by AI if that's how you started your staff report. And at the end of the day, we're still on the hook to verify that information is correct, right? And that's why the internal policies established through the city need to be tailored to providing transparency, accuracy, and correct information, right?
And citation is part of that accuracy. And I think that Google's been around, proven itself. It is a transparent medium, and it's had problems too. But I mean, in terms of AI, it's just so new that this is something that hasn't been done before. And it's unlocking a lot more access to information. But I think along with that, there do have to be borders, and people say guardrails and that sort of thing. There has to be a clear-cut policy on how it's used, in my opinion. Anybody else with? Okay. Anybody from the public with comment on Madison AI?
I was just going to reiterate, when I worked for the city, I filled in a lot for the city clerk also. And if somebody wanted something, everything was in folders or in the codification where everything was codified in the big fat book. And if you didn't know where to look, it could take you forever if somebody asked for a piece of information. You'd be going through that when he put that copy of that resolution, I was like, oh, I remember that. I remember what they looked like when they were done, and they had to be put in a folder and by year and by the number. And if you didn't know where to look, if somebody didn't tell you what year or when, more or less, when something was passed, you could be there for days looking for something. So this, I was watching it when he typed it in, and then when the answer came up, it was like, whoa. I think that the cost of it is worth it. It's worth it because it's saving a lot of time and energy for somebody, especially as shorthanded as we seem to be all the time. You know, people coming and going. This will be able to allow people to find something and answer the questions, not just from staff, but from the public. If I go up and say, when was the last resolution that had to do with this? Somebody can look it up and give me that information because it is public information. Instead of having the city clerk spend 3 days looking for something that is random that somebody asks for. So I personally, it sounds like a very good investment for the city.
Right, so as long as it's verifiable, as long as it's true.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Right.
like you said, it's gonna send me to resolution number 93-15. Then I go look that up, the actual hard copy, and read it myself and say, oh, yeah, this is what I was looking for.
That's
So
the temptation to just sort of shortcut that because you got your answer. So that's something that needs to be clearly identified in the policy that it
and
has. to
that's
be
what he
backed
said,
up.
you know, you still have to do your homework. If it tells you where to look and it cuts down that search time for you. But once you have that paper in front of you, then you can read it and say, okay, yeah, this is what I want, or this isn't what I was looking for. And
It's a tool, not a replacement for the
Yeah.
information.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. But it is a big step forward for people to find things. Especially if it's got all the resolutions and all the contracts, things that are supposed to be accessible to the public, but it just gives staff a leg up to be able to find those things quickly. Like I said, from personal experience, I remember how difficult it was to find something if you didn't even have a year to go by. So this is just, and it's, the city staff is inputting that stuff. You're giving that to somebody to put in. It's just, you know, like a phone book. Your phone's not going to be in there if you don't give it to somebody to type it in there. So having all those resolutions in digital form now instead of just looking it up on paper. But like I said, I just personally think that just listening to it and watching the little demonstration, it just seems like it's
Got it.
something really good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for your comments.
Hello, Matthew Rodriguez. I'm a what is it, downtown business owner and resident at 1605 Rose. So, well, from what I can find on this whole Madison Eye deal, it will 100%, in my opinion, pay for itself within its first year. Anybody that owns a business has stuff to go through, especially lawyers, 100% are probably using something similar because, you know, for a long time we've had, you know, say staff in a business say, hey, I need to look for this. I work for a company that's over 60 years old right now. And I have to go to a certain person and say, hey, this is what I need. Did we get this license? When did we get it? You know, and all that kind of stuff. And it's a person that, they've been there for a long time. They have that information. If they were to be replaced, the next person to come in and try to look for that stuff is looking through an entire stack on, 80 feet down a wall of files. This thing eliminates that person from having to, one, go through that stuff in the first place. And, it's insane. It's insane the amount of stuff that this AI system can do. Something that kind of, first thing that came up in my head was, hey, is the stuff in this deal going to be accurate? And is it going to be, is it going to tell something we don't want? My belief is no, because it runs on a closed loop. So meaning any information that it gets is something that the city has to input first. So if you saw on his deal, when he pulled up the files in there, that's input on the city's behalf saying, hey, these are all our files that we want to be in here. And you ask it a question, it's gonna only use your files. It's not gonna use Google or the internet at all. What it does is it uses only the stuff and only the stuff that's read in there. You can, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that it can do. But my assumption is that the city's gonna use it in a method to find stuff and, pull that out like they were saying, and then use that specific deal. So everybody's usual anticipation, or I guess, what you're usually trying to mitigate the risk of is finding false information or bringing up something that might be incorrect. If the implementation is done well, you won't have that issue because you're inputting your own information and, going over with the city attorney, making sure, okay, none of this stuff is not public information. Everything we put on here is correct. Let this thing go loose and let the city use it. And it's like you said, it's a tool, not the solution. So I think the $27,000 is a very small amount to pay for something like that. It'll pay for itself quickly.
You. Anybody else with a comment? Anybody online or on the phone with a comment?
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
Thank you. Councilmember?
Question. I have a question. I will ask a question. Jerome, I'm gonna ask you a question, Jerome. You're the reason why I ask you, because you're the technological person on this AI. Now, on another note, the question I'm gonna ask, can you alter information from AI?
I mean, if you cut and paste the response
Yeah,
and
can
you
you
can
cut and
edit
paste?
it,
I call
yeah.
it cut and paste. Okay.
I mean, with everything that we do, we're,
Is it possible? The question is yes or no.
I'm trying to understand the question and when you say edit, what does edit mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
in other words, I can,
fabricate records
I
into
could-
the
yeah, I
database?
could change wording on record, take a paste, put it on the side, reconfigure the document. It's
You
a
mean
yes or no.
changing the source document?
Yes.
If, for example, he looks up resolutions relating
Yeah.
to parking meters
And then
and
you
he goes
change it.
in and alters the wording in the resolution itself, I don't think you can do that, can you?
I mean, we would provide the official record, and the official record's available through the clerk's office. And so those official documents are signed. Most of them, I think, are in a safe here. So if we had to pull it, we could find it. If you're talking about the response through AI and editing that, I mean, yeah, we could edit it, but it wouldn't be in the best interest to fabricate information that's public record.
And Councilmember Avalos, there's easier ways to do that, or programs out there to do that, like Photoshop, Canva.
I want to say the checks and balance. I call it checks and
Right.
balance. I mean, technology is moving fast, but so is the criminals in our
Yes.
society. They're becoming more innovative, I should say. And I want to make sure that, in government, nothing's changed as far as documents or anything like this, names and everything like this, that, protect the rights of citizens, bottom line. You could, put things out there and discredit people, but and they won't never track you. False information, I call it. So I just want to, with this is kind of I look at it as a tool, as a library. As myself, I look at it as a tool, as a library. But at the same time, I have to look at it as, okay, how do you protect the library from being altered or changed? How do you check that balance? How do you find that person to say, hey, once in a while, we have some data here. I want to compare it, make sure it matches up with the comparison, bottom line, the checks and balances. Who's going to be I call the watchdog of the group? Because, sometimes these items are very sensitive and you don't want things to be altered, false information out there. Well, this is what it said out there in the public, but they altered it. You don't want that. I'd like to just clarify for myself as an elected official that represents District Two. I have to look at what tools our staff has and what tools they don't have and how they can actually minimize the cost of the hours they're working into to providing public information. And as an accountant and, you know, working with numbers, and I look at this program is rapid and exactly as many of you stated is this is only information that you've actually put in. So, and this is actually information that's public records. So if, you know, I would like to believe that me as a representative of this community, I have trust in our city manager and our HR director that's going to actually, and our deputy city manager that's going to actually put into the specific language that will allow our staff to go and adhere to what they're going to get. More importantly, for me, knowing that my staff's going to have a tool that's going to be able to give them information rapidly, that means for me that that individual's not going to be wasted its time reaching over to files and pulling things up. And I think that for me, that is an essential tool that the city needs because it's a cost effective. And exactly like the individual stated, it's gonna earn its wage half a year because of the fact that the amount of employees not wasting their time. And for this new city manager that came in and was able to look at the track, I think it's essential and it's needed for this community. So I think what I'm hearing more is more of a trust. You know, who's going to be in charge and who's going to put the incident, who's going to allow it. And I think that's something that needs to be worked out. But if you look at the pure reality of the tool, I think any municipal government would want to use this tool, just like the lighting. I think it's a cost savings. I think it's more of a tool that's going to be able to give information rapid and fast to the employees. So for me, I'm for it. I think it's a great tool. I just think that maybe the people that are going to be in charge need to add so they could structure, so the council can be more, I guess, feel more trustworthy.
I have a question. Can those documents be protected?
They are protected. The only people that have access to it are city employees.
I'm talking
and
about
they're all public
protected in the way
information.
that even if you have access, you can't make any changes to those documents.
Yeah, we don't, all you can do is download them. And as the city manager stated, it would be you could download a program like Canva or Photoshop and edit a PDF. And so you could screenshot it. There's methods around it. In the system itself, you can't edit anything.
On the other note, on the other, it's developing, I want to do checks and balance, the keyword. Maybe this is a good tool. I'm not saying it's a bad tool. It's actually, Jerome, it's a library. The library, I call it the library. But also I believe in pulling information from a library, make sure it's done correctly. And with individuals, I think we should, to protect the information of the city, we should have two people who has to go into the system, has to sign off and log in. That way, every day it'd be a log sheet. Hey, I went in and got public record 36, whatever. My name is my log number is so and so. They have to log, and we'd be able to identify who was in the information.
Council member, they already log every query in the entire system. So we know what everybody's asking, and I'm pointing at everybody.
No, I just
And,
want,
and that can be made available to department heads of what what their staff is asking of the system to verify that the information that they're pulling is accurate, that they're not using it, illicitly, what have you. At the end of the day, the information provided was the information that the city clerk's office has maintained over a period of time, right?
Yeah.
And all that information is public information. And at the end of the day, we through our internal policies, as we stated, oversight from the city and manager's office, will adopt policies to ensure safety of that information and proper conveyance in an accurate format to the public.
but on the same note, I call it the backup plan. Two informationals. In case whoever hacks into the system, they're very, very technological skilled. They can hack into the system and do alter the information real quickly. But if you have a backup plan already, another source, another server that has not connected to this operation, to That way you have another library that matches that matches the same paperwork. You know,
They verify and we've documented all the files that we've uploaded, so we know what files we've uploaded, so if they were
mean,
altered.
I mean, the
So
hackers
I got a question. So, in terms of the files that would still need to be loaded, there's a pretty significant number of paper files that still need to be loaded, correct? That would feed this system and would be the source information for this. My question is, and I don't think it's a huge deal, but if you're only getting sort of half the story, if we've only loaded half the information, half the files that need to go in, and maybe it's not half, maybe we put in 3/4. We've scanned that information in already. If what you're getting, is that a true picture of all the information that's available on on that item, or is it potentially a distortion if you're only getting, half the information that's available on a particular topic, just because it hasn't been scanned yet? So, I mean, it's not, again, it's a great tool, but I just think we need to think about the limitations too and the potential limitations. And I don't think all that source is there yet. And then you still need the people to feed the furnace, so to speak, to keep putting the documents in. I don't think anybody's figured out, because it isn't as cool as AI. Nobody's figured out a way to scan all them documents, because that's a lot of work and that's hard.
And for the record, I think there are other systems we have, such as Laserfish, which have a significant amount of data that's already scanned. We already have improvement plans, we have building permits and old entitlements that could be fed into the system that have already been scanned by staff. And in addition, we have a whole building full of files to scan that are of development nature and capital improvement nature.
I think that's why they invented the word disclaimer.
No, absolutely.
You're not getting, if you
Absolutely.
get in return on this information, doesn't mean it's every single document you're ever gonna get. It looks cool, looks like you've got everything since the library in Egypt, but it's not necessarily completely comprehensive. There's gonna be information that you're not getting returned on because it just hasn't been scanned yet.
Yeah, the goal is to be comprehensive and have all that information. But ultimately, like Jerome said, it's about the end user checking and verifying at the end. And then if you have a staff member that's writing a staff report for you, it's up to the director to check it out afterwards and verify that information's correct. If it's from the director, then it's on city manager to check and verify.
They say at colleges, you get reports that are written by AI, and now the professors are grading their reports through AI. So it's like, what do we do? What are we there to do anymore? We're there to confirm. We're there to be the verifier, I think.
But
and make the
it's
rules.
similar to like, calculators, and then Excel and everything. They provide valuable information, they're valuable tools, but we still have to verify that we're putting in the correct information. We still have to verify that the result is accurate at the end. Otherwise, we're just giving bad information out.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for the
once you
presentation.
scan everything, and you have your files, what are you gonna do with the files? Tear them up?
I mean, we store them. I mean, we have a file retention policy that was adopted by council, I think, last year, that we're still working through to dispose of files in a timely manner, because we're only obligated to keep files for a certain amount of time as adopted by the city council policy. So for some of the files, they may be past the retention, and so the digital copy will be the only copy because we don't have to retain the hard copy file.
That we're going to move on to our consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine. The complete consent calendar will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote. For purposes of discussion, any council member may have an item removed from the consent calendar and made part of the regular agenda. The council can then approve the remainder of the consent calendar. Does council have any items they would like, or an item they would like removed from the consent calendar tonight?
Mayor, I'm pulling 2-1.
Okay. Anybody else? I would like to take off items 2.2 and 2.3. Anybody else? Is there a motion to approve items 2.4 and 2.5?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Is that Trujillo or Avalos who made the motion?
Get out of those.
Okay. Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson, yes. Okay, with that, we'll start with item 2.1. Mayor Pro Tem?
Okay, page 24 on the register. I just have a question on check number 88 or 86250. And it is for LC Action Police Supply LTD, PD beanbag impact rounds, sponge rounds, and spin pounder. Or wait a minute. No, I'm sorry, it's not for that one. It is for 88260. It's the Motorola Solutions PD Systems Upgrade Agreement, 57,708.43. Isn't that a grant? Wouldn't that be covered by a grant?
No, Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra, that is an agreement that was signed prior to my coming on. I believe that agreement was signed when we switch over to the new dispatch center
Mhm.
at the new facility. So that goes to cover any of the equipment, infrastructure, the lines, everything related to the dispatching center. So it's like a warranty, if you will.
Oh, a warranty.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, that was the only one.
Okay, I've got one. 88287, Tom Malloy Corporation, rental of trencher for downtown tree lighting project, a project near and dear to most of our hearts. 6221. Did you just not, Public Works Director, did you just not have a trencher available, or was it in the shop, or it seems like it's pretty expensive? Why don't we just buy a trencher?
So that is actually for the hydro excavating trailer. We had to rent before we had delivery of our new hydro excavating trailer that we purchased. So that was the rental for that trailer, and that was used for the potholing and tunneling under the existing curb and gutter where we ran the utility infrastructure existing out to the new tree
Is
locations.
that one-time equipment? You're not gonna use
that's-
that again?
No, that's just a one-time
Oh, you
deal.
would rent it.
We own that piece of equipment now, not that piece, but we own a hydro excavating trailer that we purchased.
So you do have trenching equipment like this, and you won't need to rent it in the
We won't
future?
be renting that anymore, no, sir.
Gotcha. Thank you. And then on the ACH, thank you, Finance Director Moreno, really appreciate it. The BCI Holdings, I'm just assuming that that's all health insurance related, self-funded, so the city pays its own claims and it's paid to the insurance company through ACH. That's how they take payment, correct? Instead of a check?
That is correct. That goes to our TPA. So our TPA bills us on a weekly basis for any of the claims, and then we approve it. I review all claims to make sure that the correct employees are.
Are you using Madison AI to review the claims? No, that's good.
No, that
Using
is,
AI.
You are the AI.
so, yeah. And so those claims are then paid on a weekly basis.
Thank you. And speaking of the insurance, it's down about 400,000 for this deposit. I remember from our seminar, there are different insurances that are billed each quarter. Does anybody know which insurance was billed for this quarter?
Our second quarter premium, and so our liability program was 245, 195. Workers' comp is 352,000. $26 for our business travel accident program, and then our cyber breach endorsement is $11,000.
Okay. And then have you had a meeting yet, a claims review meeting yet with the claims adjusters who said they would be contacting you
I've
to
had
review
both-
those book of
I had
claims?
both a meeting with our liability, and I've had one meeting with work comp, and I have a rescheduled meeting the first week of December also.
I would love to see us get down from being one of the biggest claim makers to
Agreed.
one of the fewest. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I have one.
Go for it.
Yeah, I have one on the 88,194. That was the A&M Consulting Engineering. I know it's a grant. It's $66,164.70. The question I'm asking on that engineering uh, project there, a grant, are they, that's completed? Is that completed in that?
No, so it's a combination of multiple grants that they're working on. A&M was working on 3 grants for us. They're working on the active transportation trail project along the CID Canal, south part of town. They're working on the Clean California 2nd Street beautification project. And then they are working on the tactical urbanism project, which is the temporary traffic improvements near the school. So they're working on 3 projects. Tactical urbanism is an ongoing item that has pilot projects. 2nd Street construction plans are at 90% right now. And as reported at the last council meeting, the ATP Trail project, we had some good discussions with CID, and we're working on revising the plans and getting access agreements for the canal that mirror other jurisdictions that they do work in that they found acceptable. And so all those items have deadlines of when construction starts. I think like the ATP Trail is 2027. I think Clean California's end of 2026, and Tactical Urbanism, I think, needs to be expended by 2027.
You know, because I know we talked about the CID engineering that, and you guys attended the meeting, am I correct? And they were okay with it, am I correct?
We met with the general manager and the assistant general manager, myself, public works director, city engineer, and A&M engineering all met with them. And we all came to a consensus of how to move the project forward.
So now, on another note, Jerome, what are we looking at as far as additional cost?
For all 3 of those projects, all those costs are covered by grants. If you want a breakdown of what's remaining for each grant and what remains to be expended, we can provide that information.
Okay. I mean, that's why I brought it up. So, and then I have one more on, well, actually two more. 88275. This is the fire department chief. This is Anthony Rivas, reimbursement strike team when he went to the fire. The reason why I pulled it, chief, I just wanted to know, when we send people out to these fire things, if I don't like to sit, you know, I'm old school. I don't like to see the general in the front of the battlefield, right? You always kind of send the corporal or the private out there, you know, fighting the fire, you know, and I just want it because there's overtime connected to this. I'm pretty sure there is, and I know we get reimbursed through the state. I get that, but also I believe in training. I believe making the best fire department personnel, he has to learn on the job training. And I believe in that. That's anything in the workforce, public works, city workers, where the more that on job training, you become the best of the best. And reason why I pulled this, I want your department to be the best of the best. And the only way you can be the best of the best is allow other people to go out there and learn that you know they're qualified to go. I don't want you to send somebody's not qualified, but I want you to just think about what I said, okay? On that note. And also I'm gonna pull 88291. I discussed this earlier on the CalCard. The reason why I pull that, I like to know really how many people have their own personal phone or the other ones that the city owns. You know, we buy. We buy. You know, are we being I want to say, I don't want too many people. I don't want to say, I'm trying to save money. Bottom line, I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to find a way to, budget and I'm the city of Selma a little bit with taxpayer dollars. I'm just trying to find a way to minimize the cost here, okay? Because it's a lot. It's over $2,000. So,
Absolutely.
I
And
mean,
that's actually one of the items that I'm starting to work on. We just pulled, we're with Verizon currently, and so we just pulled that report and are going through and making sure that all of the
I mean, if
lines
you
that we
call a
have are,
foreign country, I could believe it.
all of the lines that we have on there are actively being used. And then we're going to be negotiating the terms of our contract. So it is an item we're working on currently. And so we'll continue to update you on that as we move through it.
Okay.
I have a question. Number 88221 in the amount of 32,909.83 for the city attorney. Is this correct that it's for the month of April and the month of August? I mean, the month of November?
That's only for April.
Okay, but what I'm stating is that we're in the month of November and we're getting billed for the month of April.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Question 88254. We were looking at Madison AI. Is this an additional 23 grand over the 27? Or is this related to the Madison AI that we just looked at? Or is it part of the 27,000?
The 27,000 included initial implementation, and that part of that will not be reoccurring. This is for the governance module, which is what you guys saw.
So that was the setup, the 27, and the 23 is what city will be paying every year. That's 50 grand. Okay. City attorney, your billing, you get it out in arrears sometimes or
It
4/1?
was in arrears for quite a while, and it's still a little bit in arrears. We're up to August.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Anybody from the public with a question on the check register? Anybody online or on the phone with a question about the check register? Although I think we brought every single one out. I don't know what you could possibly question at this point. Question all of them. I'm just kidding. All right. Is there a motion to approve item 2-1?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Avalos?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera?
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo?
Yes.
Mayor Robertson, yes. Okay. I took off the next two and they're mostly housekeeping. We could take them together. City Attorney, 2-2 and 2-3. They are for pretty standard, just approving the authorized signers. But I understand our deputy city manager is leaving the city. He's leaving the employ of the city. So would it be wise to approve this tonight without the deputy city manager and make a modified motion, or just approve it now and then make a modified motion after the deputy city manager concludes his service? Should we do it now? He's still on there as an authorized
It
signer.
includes the deputy city manager as somebody who's an authorized signer.
Right.
Correct.
I would think it'd be appropriate to approve the resolution as modified by deleting that name.
Okay. And the same would apply to item
I apologize for interrupting you.
2 and
The
2-3.
finance director needs to let you know exactly why it's written that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's the attached resolutions. So we did add a section 5, ending the date for the deputy city manager as of November 21st, and also adding our new deputy city manager effective December 1st, would be Margie. So it's actually on the resolutions.
So it's already added into the
Yeah.
resolution, the
Correct.
timeline when Deputy City Manager Keem won't be a signer anymore, when he's no longer with the city.
That is correct. So this is actually removing him effective his last day of employment with us and then adding me the first day of my contract. when I
Got it.
come
Thank you for
off
the
contract.
clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, but that, I'll make a motion to approve items 2-2 and 2-3. Is that okay, City Attorney, to approve both of them? They're both authorized signers
That is
for the
perfectly
terms of the
fine, yes.
resolution.
Okay, second.
Okay. All right, and I'll say yes to the motion. Councilman Avalos.
Yes.
Councilman Trujillo.
Yes.
Councilman Oseguera.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Yes.
Okay. Item 2.2 and 2.3 pass. And with that, we will move on to our next item, which is departmental reports. City Manager Rogers.
Yes, thank you very much. Not too much to report for me as of yet. I just
Second day on
started
the job.
yesterday, second day, still here, so that's a good thing.
Good.
We got the computer set up, and, started, scheduling meetings with, staff and council members as needed. Met with, Jim today, and so,
Didn't have it too bad, did I?
no, he was great. And so, looking forward at continuing to do that and getting more information and getting further into the weeds. But so far, everybody's been great and I appreciate it.
Sounds great, City Manager. I always appreciated from the preceding interim City Manager Kunkel, the weekly reports.
Yes.
When do you plan, and a couple weeks in, do you think you'll be able to start providing those again? Because those are very helpful for everybody, including the public.
No, I mean, we can continue them right now. John told me about those and my understanding is that they're sent in on what, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, Friday morning, and then sent out on Friday. So you should still have them this week and moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification. City Attorney Costanzo?
Yes, Mayor, members of the council, I attended the Planning Commission meeting on November 13th. Planning Commission is, as you know, is 7 members. One of the members abstained and removed herself from the room. That was Betty Standridge. That left 6 commission members to decide the Casitas project, which is the project on and along Highland Avenue with the affordable housing portion and a market rate housing, both of which are apartment complex, and then they have the commercial structures on the frontage of Highland. The vote taken was 3 yeses, 2 nos, and 1 abstention.
Ridge was abstaining and
Was
McCarthy,
of the ones that were present.
got it.
And, technically you should consider Standridge present because she was doing what she was supposed to do, which was abstaining and leaving the room, which is the proper procedure when you're conflicted out.
Okay. City Attorney, what does that count as when someone gets up and leaves the room? Does that count as an abstention or is there a separate category for
she
refusal?
abstained. And the
I heard her
rule
say
is
abstain during
that
the meeting.
if you've got some issue, she didn't disclose precisely what that was. But if you've got some issue that disqualifies you from voting, is what she had. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to abstain, you're supposed to leave the room. Because if you're disqualified and you stay in the room, it's presumed that you're influencing your fellow members and that taints the entire vote. So you could get a whole entire vote set aside because of the presence of somebody who has, for example, prejudged a quasi-adjudicative matter or has a conflict of interest, some impediment to them being present and voting on the matter. But they are still counted as present because when the meeting starts, she answered present. And she was going to come back in after they concluded, but they immediately adjourned. So she didn't come back in. But it's really neither here nor there.
They're synonyms, right?
We have at the state level and at the local level, you have a pure democratic system. And a pure democratic system operates on one overriding principle: majority rules. 3 yes votes out of 6 present is not a majority. So the commission's action there is really a non-action because there isn't a majority of vote approving the project involved. And that's just a simple function of the majority rules rule. The problem is, I don't know exactly what your staff plans to do with that. It's not a problem if they plan to bring to the council the resolution by the planning commission that reflects that vote. It's fine if they do that, and you will just take that up and you will note that there's no recommendation there. The problem is if they don't do that. And if they don't do that, that means your developer is put to sort of a Hobson's choice. Your developer's got to decide within 15 days. Do I appeal this? I don't think he can appeal it because your code says he can appeal a decision of the planning commission. This isn't a decision. There's no recommendation there. It's a non-event. So I don't think you should put your developer to the task of appealing that. Your developer is also developing a project which is an affordable housing project. The affordable housing developer, under several new laws that they've enacted to promote affordable housing, unlike most developers, can simply go back to the planning commission again and again and again and again. And they can do that to infinity. And that's not likely to change the votes here because people are not likely to change their votes. So what you're going to get if we make them go back to the planning commission again, you're going to get the same result. And then they're going to have to go back again. They'll come back and they get the same result until they finally end up with, for example, a quorum of 4 people. And in that case, the 3 votes would carry the day because that'd be a majority of the quorum, right?
Well, I have a
So,
question.
you don't really want to make them do that.
I have a question because, I mean, just the same way I asked you earlier, I don't receive your emails. I don't know what it is, but I noticed an email that you sent to Betty Sandridge, but you sent it to us also, but I wasn't able to open it. I would like, 1, a copy of that. 2, who directed you to send her that email? And how did you find out?
I took it on myself.
Okay, you took it upon yourself, and understanding that you are in conflict because the individual that opposes that project is Dwight Nelson. And the reason why I ask you this,
I'm not
the reason why I ask
representing Dwight Nelson.
I understand that. I understand that, but I'm elected official representing District 2. 1, I don't get your emails. Number 2, I found it fascinating that I seen on the letterhead that you were sending an individual at 2:00 in the afternoon on that same day to recuse herself. But for me, that's a resident of our community, and there's numerous people that have been sitting on the planning commission these last 8 months that have opposed that project, have had meetings at his restaurant, have been publicly saying this. So the question, the only question I have as an elected official to make sure we represent our community properly is, 1, I need to get a hard copy of that letter. Number 2, send me an email telling me that you took it upon yourself to call a resident and ask her what her findings were. Because to me, I find that very suspicious. And as a representative of District 2, and understanding that we want to make sure we're legally following the proper procedure here, I'm not questioning your ethics. What I'm questioning is the proper fundamental ways of this, the way this occurred.
So
And I'm not asking for anything, but just.
City Attorney, can I respond to that?
I did send you a copy of that.
know, but
I guess you can't open it. So I.
Why didn't you go to the tech person to fix your email?
I've been asking.
Yeah, but you were getting your emails before.
Yeah, first of the year. After that, I stopped getting them. I've been saying that to you guys.
So,
But so
and I don't want to
City-
get
that's a
into
city
what I
problem,
told her
not a
because she didn't disclose what I told her.
the only question I
wanna
have, the
respect
only
that.
question as an elected official, you sent me an email that I could not open. I would like a copy of it. I'm not pushing, I'm not creating any problems, but there's an individual in this community that was told that she was not right. And I just want to make sure that, hey, the project itself is good. I'm just saying that I want to see the procedure followed through correctly. I'm not attacking individually. I'm just saying, hey, send me the email so I can see it too and I can read it.
I'll be happy to
That's all.
give you
That's-
it, but I already did.
I know, but.
And
you know,
that's my problem. So I guess I have to bring a hard copy.
Or maybe send it to someone who will send it to
I'm gonna-
Councilman
Tech guy,
Tree Hill.
But we're gonna get a new computer, so.
Okay, so
Yeah, maybe they'll-
I'll
they'll-
I'll
after the-
resend the email, but
No.
I don't want to get into what is a standard, what she and I discussed.
But you sent it to us.
I sent it to you because you're the city council.
I know, but I'm just saying I couldn't open it, so I have the ability, since you sent it to me, I wanna know what it's about.
Okay,
Hey,
so you'll know what it's all
So
about.
that's
Just
a,
resend it.
that's a city attorney and city council. Is that privileged?
No.
What you sent, or is that
What
discoverable?
what I
you
sent
Yeah.
is, yes, it's privileged.
Okay, so
And
that,
and
that's
she
good.
did not disclose anything other than she got guidance, and I don't want to betray her.
got it. For the record, I watched that
confidence.
meeting, didn't participate, watched it, and it was, believe she mentioned abstain. She said she was abstaining, but I don't think, I think it's a difference without a distinction, right? It's the same thing. She just
It's a
couldn't- she
diff,
just
well, it's a
couldn't vote on
difference
it.
without a distinction because there's only
It's a
three
difference.
affirmative
She has to make-
votes and there's still 6 people there. So
Right.
if you
Right.
treat her as absent, there's still only 3 votes.
So I
So
think the next step
all I'm-
is
all I'm
confusing as to what's gonna happen next. You're
Yeah.
advising, are you gonna advise the planning commission to make a recommendation to the applicant?
I think that would be futile. I think if you take it before the planning commission again, and that's the only way you're gonna get a recommendation with the planning commission, you're gonna get the same result.
Okay. So what's your plan of action here?
You have a procedure. It is in 11-7-8. The city council. And there's also a similar procedure in 11-7-7. Because this involves a zone change.
Oh.
There are certain matters that have to go before your planning commission. EIRs, environmental analysis, zone change, general plan amendment. This involved all 3 of those things, among other things. So it has to go to your planning commission first, but there's nothing in the law that says your planning commission has to come to a definitive decision.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, been doing a lot of research since last week and over the weekend, talked with Neil, also talked with Jerome and John Kunkel regarding it. And yeah, although the planning commission did not, necessarily take an action, we can bring it to council as essentially no recommendation from the planning commission and for council to take up that item. In part because state housing laws, including Housing Accountability Act and the Permit Streamlining Act, require that the city's legislative body make the final determination. So that's the big reason why it'll be brought back at a later date to council.
And
Yeah, we just need to get an answer on what's going to happen today, because if they wanted to appeal it, there's a 15-day limit. And your next meeting is on December 2, which is beyond the 15 days. So rather than forcing them to do that, I would like to figure out what our community development department intends to do. And if they intend to simply present to the council the signed resolution by the planning commission, we're good. And you don't have to do anything. If that wasn't going to happen, I was going to suggest to you that you can take it yourself and appeal it to yourself on your own by a majority vote.
What did the community development department plan to do on this?
We still have to public notice the project, and so we wouldn't have been able to bring it at the earliest till December 16th anyway. And we would have just forwarded the recommendation of the planning commission, which is essentially a non-recommendation to council to make a final decision. The planning commission's a recommending body. They don't approve it. And even if they had a, you know, a 3-2 vote the other way, and it was a majority recommend denial of the project, it still would have been forwarded to council, it wouldn't have stopped. And so from our standpoint, we still have to notice it publicly. We're tentatively working to prepare it for the December 16th agenda.
Yeah, so if, as long as that's the case, as long as it's coming before you, we haven't got an issue, and your developer,
Or
more
no foul?
importantly, doesn't have
It's
an
coming to
issue.
the council anyway. Okay.
Mhm.
Anything about that meeting that council needs to move on or take into account that could impact the council's decision?
No, it's going to come to you without a recommendation of the planning commission, but with a, you know, you'll have a record of how they voted, and
Got it. Thank you. Anything else to report, city attorney?
that is it.
Thank you for your report. Deputy City Manager King.
Just one item to report. The city was awarded $660,000 through Safe Routes to School for the Rose Avenue Olive Street project that we submitted. I'd also like to state it was the highest ranking project that was evaluated by Fresno COG. Fresno COG awarded projects to all the cities. They kind of spread it around a little bit. We had 4 projects, but Selma has bragging rights over all the other cities. We had the highest ranking project on there. So congrats to the city of Selma. I think the input from council was valuable to make that project a high scoring project, a viable project, and a fundable project, right? And so with the buy-in from the school district as well, I think that's going to serve that part of town beautifully.
Thank you. Deputy City Manager Fowler.
Items to report. Thank you.
Okay. And then, City Manager, are you going to deliver the city clerk's report tonight?
I am not, I was not provided. anything.
Sorry, you were gonna do, I think, yeah,
Yeah, community
Parks and
service.
Community Services.
Yeah.
And that's next.
Okay. Yes, so NFL flag and Spark squad is running full force. We have 100 flag players and 27 cheerleaders. Youth basketball registration is live and open on our website. We had to postpone our 5K color run due to the rain, and we will be hosting that run with about 170 runners this Saturday. We are still taking late registrations. A Christmas Story is playing at Selma Arts Center. It's been a great hit, and we recommend seeing it. We are still working on the animal services transition and revamping the logo. We will be hosting our annual Thanksgiving luncheon for our seniors next week at the Portuguese Hall, courtesy of our local service clubs in town. And finally, our offices will be closed on November 27th and 28th for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you for your report. Finance Director Moreno.
Mayor, nothing to report.
Thank you. Fire Chief Webster.
I'll make it quick. Our Life Pack 35s that were purchased a while back by council, they're in service, and all 3 of our shifts with 100% of our staff are getting trained this week. So we're excited to get the training done. Stryker's been here tomorrow, and they'll be here Friday. So that's exciting. We're looking forward to getting those out. Second thing, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That's between now and the next city council meeting. And then last thing, congratulations and welcome to the city.
Thank you. Communications Director Moreno.
Mayor, members of the council, the Downtown Selma Small Business Saturday campaign is in full effect. November 29th, we have over a dozen downtown businesses offering discounts or sales that day. Over a dozen raffle prizes from other businesses. We have a craft fair developing. The first video went out to promote it, so the campaign's in full swing. And I also got notification that next Tuesday, Fox 26 is going to be out in downtown Selma for a live shot on their morning show, Great Day, to promote downtown businesses and highlight all the fun that we're going to have on November 29th from 10 to 2. So that campaign's rolling along right now to support our local downtown businesses and encourage the citizens to shop local. So it's moving forward.
So just a quick question, Communications Director. So we've been talking a lot about AI tonight, and really that's your domain in large part as Communications Director. Will you be working on the AI policy going forward with the city manager? Will this be a collaborative effort? Because it sounds like the AI policy is going to be a kind of a cornerstone of this technology moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we'll work together. Margie and I will work with anybody who has information related to AI knowledge, stuff like that. We're also pulling from other cities that have already enacted similar policies. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, let's find what's out there and already works.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll use AI to find
It is
it.
AI, that's our policy.
But yeah, no, so that's kind of going to be our focus, and then working with all of our directors to develop that.
Because it's a real balance, you want to keep growing and using the technology. It's so amazing. It could be a great tool.
Mhm.
At the same time, you do have to have a policy,
Yes.
so know the way it can be used. It's the right way. Thank you.
Might just add that we are reviewing all of our policies, and I know that I've given Jose the social media policy for his review and guidance on that. And so it's dated from 2015, and there's been a lot of things that have happened since then. So I know that he's working on that and
Yeah.
MySpace, I know, right? So there's molding
God,
it in there,
AOL.
but anyway. So yeah, we are working collaboratively with all of the department heads on that.
Thank you. Police Chief Alcarez.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I find something worth highlighting. Today, some of our officers were called out to a local retailer about a suspicious subject. On their arrival, they were able to locate that subject who was resistant to them. Later on, they were able to take him into custody, found a loaded firearm on his person. This subject was a wanted federal felon that was on probation. So very dangerous individual that was taken into custody, and a loaded firearm was taken from him. Additionally, another person that was identified to be with that person was contacted in the area. They made contact with that person, and upon a search, found another loaded firearm. So that's a phenomenal job by our personnel, and again, their commitment to keeping Selma safe. And that is all.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. Public Works Director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple quick things. Tomorrow we will actually be doing Red Robin here. Tomorrow we will be doing the online Musco training for our new light system at Schaefer Park. Monday morning, I received the operations manual. That project has been 100% accepted and approved by Musco. I've put a copy of the 25-year warranty paperwork with the city clerk to actually file. So we're moving forward with that. Tomorrow will be the training with community services staff as well as public works staff. We've also completed the RFI finally. Thank you to the help of Chief Webster and Jerome for the Cal OES grant that we are applying for the Fire Station 2 generator replacement. I have to tell you, I've never done a grant. I finished up what paperwork was left lingering out there with the help from Chief Webster, and it looks like everything looks good at this point. So that thing is moving forward. On Thursday is the annual Park Maintenance Rodeo, and Dinuba is hosting this year. We are the reigning champions. We were second place 2 years ago. We won it last year, and we have 8 people from Public Works that will be competing in that competition representing the city of Selma on Thursday in Dinuba, and we're looking to repeat and maintain that championship status. I believe that's all I have for right now.
I got some things for you.
Yeah, boy.
So how about the status of,
Easy.
sorry, it's just 4.
I got 10.
Okay, have at it. Status of the old police station parking lot. So with the advent of the trees with the lights, which are looking great and they're just gonna look better, we lost parking spaces and people are concerned about that. And I know we've had discussions about converting the old police station, which is being used internally for file storage, paper file storage right now. Are there any plans? We don't have the city engineer here, but what's the timeline and how are we moving forward to take that fence down and to turn that parking lot, all those parking spaces, into publicly accessible parking?
So I'm not gonna throw numbers or dates out for a timeline because that's just not feasible for me to do that. What I can tell you is that after the last council and the recommendations that came from council, that has been discussed with deputy city manager, myself, and the city engineer. It will be discussed further now with the new city manager. My first meeting with him is tomorrow at 10, so we can touch on this. This is something that we're looking at. We have to go in and get survey done of the location and understand what's needed for ADA compliance. So the design phase, you're looking at probably 2 to 3 months to get through that portion of it. I would venture to say, and don't hold me to this, but if we move forward with it, probably sometime next spring or early summer would
It's
probably
great when
be.
people are walking around and, it's pretty
feasible.
far away from not far away, but it's a distance away. So if we could somehow loop in FCRTA to get a ride, to have some sort of communication or a sign on our High Street, downtown, Second Street, like additional parking this way. You need a ride? Call FCRTA, something like that. If we could incorporate the transit piece into it at the same time, that'd be really helpful. Because if it's just additional parking that's too far away, no one will use it. But if we can kind of loop it in to our downtown, in my opinion, that'd be helpful. So thank you for your efforts on that. Caltrans, if there's something going on with a Second Street grant, use your council members up here. I see Caltrans folks at the COG meeting. I'll see them on this Thursday. So let us know if we can help you. If you're looking for a Caltrans grant or you're looking to interface with them, I know you deal with them all the time, but I can deal with them as well if you need it. Just offering the help.
Point taken.
Great. And then the removal of the plates on High Street. When are those going away?
I'm hoping to have that work completed by the end of December. So we wanted to get through the Thanksgiving holiday. We're gonna be starting the beginning of December to remove those plates and the sidewalk and replace that concrete patch where the old tree wells are.
Finally, the beacons aren't working at Roosevelt still. I got an email on that.
So yes, we've had AC Electric out to do some analysis for us. We have several locations that the flashers have stopped working.
Yeah.
We have since received 2 new, basically they're the motherboards, the control boards for 2 of them. I believe one of them's by Garfield, the other one's by Roosevelt. We're also looking at replacing 2 of them on McCall and installing 2 more at the elementary school. I believe it's Garfield right here on McCall and Aaron's. Because there's only one intersection. It's the farthest north intersection that has the flashers where the cross guard's at. So we're looking at installing on the intersection to the south.
Are we looking at a timeline on that?
We have the parts. We just received some of the parts Friday. We got some more of them yesterday, UPS to us. So we have them in place. It's coordinating with our electrician who has to come out and check circuitry for us. And then we can go and install those. So I'm hoping
Tell
in
the
the
folks
next.
that it's an ongoing process and
Yeah.
it'll be resolved soon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's my 4.
Yeah. Downtown, do you know when we're gonna finish that? I mean, I know I talked to you before on that. I know we're waiting for River Rock. I know Mayor Pro Tem doesn't like River Rock, so I'll defer to her on that one after I finish, please.
Okay.
There was also an item person brought to me, Rose and Orange. You know, right there says there've been about 2 or 3 accidents there because the people coming in Orange, they think, you know, or somebody just runs through there and they cause accidents. He was thinking that maybe we could put a sign that says cross traffic does not stop or something.
Yeah.
Because he lives right across the street.
So part of our tactical urbanism pilot study that we're doing right now addresses the mid-block crosswalk at it would be just east of Orange Avenue on Rose. So that's where we've done the temporary placards there for the pilot program. So that entire stretch from Dockery all the way back to Orange is being looked at as part of this pilot study. We can only afford to do like one location in each location around town. So we had one at the high school. We did one on Rose. We're getting ready to do one over on Thompson by the elementary school there. That entire stretch of road is being looked at based off of the study that we're currently doing on Rose Avenue. So all those intersections all the way to Dockery are being looked at.
And if I could add to that, that intersection I think is listed pretty high on our local road safety plan as well. And that helps us with other grant opportunities, funding opportunities for improvements to improve safety at that intersection.
Okay, I had a question I forgot to ask Deputy King. The sidewalks, when are those gonna be? I know we awarded you know, the sidewalk group. Remember, Mr. Joe Gonzalez keeps calling me. Where's my sidewalk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually are moving forward we have funding through CBDG for that. And part of the grant that we just received from COG, the 600,000, a portion of that is also to connectivity for the sidewalks. That's also part of that grant we
I know
just
we had
received.
approved the person that's gonna do it. We approved the bid for RJ Berry or somebody.
So, yeah, so RJ Berry's bid was approved by council, accepted by council, I believe, 2 meetings ago. So that project is moving forward.
Yeah, because he keeps calling me, even trying to change his vote next time I run. So that's important to me. I don't know about you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so real quick, before we go too far, I had one last thing I forgot, most important thing. We had our big citywide cleanup 2 weekends ago. I just got the report today from Mid Valley. So the 3-day event, we took in a total of 122.18 tons of refuse that went to the landfill. We had 5.13 tons in the roll-offs. We had 97 tons of metals that were recycled. We had 175 rubber tires. We had 42 e-waste items. We had 175 mattresses in one trailer and 160 in a second trailer. Total amount of cars for the event, 985. It was the largest event that Mid Valley has done in many, many years. So it was very successful. And I don't know if anybody noticed, we stockpiled the mulch out there that we have to get rid of the compost. The compost didn't go at all during the event, but since that event last week, that entire pile's gone. So we're actually, to meet our quota with Cal Recycle for SB 1383, we're actually looking in the next week to dump a couple more trailer loads in that location. It's a great spot for people to pull up off the road at city property, and they can load it into their trucks themselves. So
Would Mid Valley like to buy it? Lots for
lot.
sale.
You might call Joseph on that one.
If it's zoned for that.
But anyway, the event was very successful.
Thank you for your report. Did anybody else have any questions?
I had a thing on the
Yeah,
downtown.
John, I just wanted to ask you on the completion of the downtown. Yeah, I definitely don't like River Rock. I'd like to see, or if we're going to, bring it to your attention, maybe even the colored wood chips, something that has a nice color, white rock, something like that, that just would stand out.
So I hate to be a buzzkill or a party killer, but unfortunately, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra, we are avoiding any mulch, wood chip, gorilla hair, which is the shredded redwood. The reason why we're avoiding that is, as council knows, we are spending quite a bit of money annually cleaning our storm drain system. When we get heavy rains like you've seen this last week that we've had, that stuff does what we call migrating. It floats. And so it all ends up in our storm drain system. Part of the standard revision that we've gone through for the landscape details is that we will not be allowing gorilla hair, wood bark, or mulch for any of the areas that can migrate into the city's storm drain infrastructure. So that's one of the reasons I brought up the river rock. We're looking for hardscape solutions or alternatives for those areas.
What about decomposed granite?
DG is great. I use
Just
DG a
do it.
lot and it looks good. It holds
do
up
it.
good.
You want decomposed granite?
So I think we're at a point where we need to look at a couple of different options and just kind of see what council wants and we can get it done.
And if I could speak, what we'll do on that is, we'll get some options, bring it back to a future council meeting for, direction, since we don't have that as a, an actual agenda item.
Mr. Mayor, I had a couple of I bypassed, I don't know who they go to, but the first one was, has the city approved a color scheme? Because I've been waiting and I've been wanting to paint my building and actually do a new facade, and I was gone, so.
Yeah. As has been discussed, the design guidelines would come before the council, and it would include the color scheme, and it would be incorporated in the municipal code, and we're getting a consultant to draft those for us. It sounds easy, but it goes with the whole ball of wax with the downtown design criteria and theme that's been developed. So we're working on acquiring a consultant to do that.
But the color scheme has been approved by council. Yes.
The color scheme has been
Yes,
approved.
we've approved it.
Yeah, I believe so. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah.
We
can
You can go for it.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
don't think any project would be.
at
too
worst,
big.
if it changes, you'll have to paint it in line with what the new color scheme is down. the road. I know the goal is to be consistent, so we can get you the information of what was adopted.
And my last question, would there be a problem if I tear down that facade, that roof donning? I mean, I'm gonna pull permits and everything, but.
Yeah, I
but
don't
was that more the
believe,
scheme of
as
things?
of right now, there's no policy or rule saying that an awning is a requirement. I think in the future, if there were certain amount of improvements that were done, the design guidelines would dictate what type of awning, what it could look like along those lines, but those policies have not been drafted yet.
Okay, good. And the last one, I don't know where this goes. Has the bid given out grants and where we at? Can someone, not now, you can send it to, you guys can send it to me. Just because I just wanted to know if people, are they participating or not?
Somebody's gonna answer that one? Oh,
We have a bid board member.
you have the director here.
To my knowledge, there have been no applications.
Yeah, there haven't been applications yet, but in my meeting with all of the business owners, in conjunction with promoting the events we're doing, I have mentioned that the grant exists and they get real excited. But like I mentioned in the bid meeting, it's a collaboration between the business owner, the building owner, and us. So they have to get that building owner to sign off on it. So it's a discussion that we have with business owners.
The only question I had was, there's a budgeted amount, and I want to know if anybody, what's the city, and maybe I'll take it a step further. What's the city doing to publicize that bid package that we're giving out to the community, to the business owners? That's one. Number two is, what's the participation of people asking, so we could see later down the road if we have to ramp it up or do something, us as elected officials. And I'm not speaking for my business, I'm just speaking for everybody else, because it would enhance the area. Thank you.
I think there's a fair amount of uncertainty because the color scheme hasn't been decided on yet. It's like, can I apply? Can I not? But our new bid director, Moreno, has been doing a fantastic job of putting things on the website. So people are able to get on the website and see what's going on. And I know the grant is one of those areas, kind of a gray area at this point, that you're trying to pin down, Director. So I know that's happening. That's a work in progress. And I think that really will help people, give them guidelines on what to apply and how to
Absolutely.
apply.
And in my discussions with the business owners, it's really a lot of canopies. They're asking about, like you said, a facade coming down and putting up a canopy. That's kind of the questions they have of what that looks like.
And just to let you know that
as the owner of that property, I'm very excited to do the whole facade and do the paint and just jazz it up, make it look really good, being that it's the only restaurant downtown. But I just was actually waiting to see what's out there, what we have to do. But I'm gonna start. Thank you.
Yeah, I know we painted our building and we didn't take advantage of the grant, just because we don't have the guidelines. I think we put in a color that looks nice down there, or colors that look nice down there. But, I would encourage everybody to do that, to apply for the grant, to apply for that matching. And, maybe the city council looks at the grant in the future of making it even, better and broader and encouraging more participation. So I think that's a work in progress. We have a bid board member. I don't know if they want to come up and talk during oral communications or any time about the bid. But with that, with departmental reports, let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back for our 4 items on new business and conclude the meeting. Thank you. session and move on to our new business items tonight. Our first action item is consideration of the Downtown Business Improvement District, the Bid Advisory Board appointment. Report, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the council. The Selma City Council is responsible for appointing members of boards and commissions, including the Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board. The advisory board advises on how district funds are used for downtown improvements, marketing support, and the beautification of projects. A vacancy on the bid advisory board was announced in September, and 3 applicants were received from business owners within the district. In accordance with the bid management plan, council is asked to review the applicants and appoint 1 representative to serve for a 1-year term on the board.
Thanks for your report. All right. Does council, I believe we have a member who is applying for membership for the bid. Can we hear from the candidate? Would you like to step up?
I guess my first thing is, well, what would you like to hear, I guess?
Give us your name.
Specifically, my
Name
is
and
Matthew
address.
Rodriguez. The businesses that I have are, one is Impact Industries, which I run out of, it's 559 Fights as well. I work for 559 Fights right downtown. Surprisingly, not a lot of people know it's there, even though it's like probably one of the brightest buildings we got. It's just, you pass by it more driving than walking, you know, so. I'm right in between, what is it? I guess it's, oh shoot, I don't even know the streets. I'm on Second Street, right, in between the downtown main, Front Street, and then, what was the last? It's Tucker, there we go. Yeah, I'm right in between there. So, I mean, we've been there for, I think it's almost 10 years now, the 559 Fights building. And then I've been working for about almost 3 years in the building as well, so. When the whole, the bid started and all that, and all that stuff started happening, I saw the videos coming out of you know, downtown items and businesses that we have. I think it's pretty awesome. I definitely would love to share the input that I have with bid. You know, working with the events downtown, working with you know, the business owners in general. I've gone around and you know, met, you know, a lot of the people that are working there day to day for sure. A lot of, or not everybody's the owner of the building, but you know, I got the people that I see day to day, like, and say hi to and stuff. But I mean, just working with them, making sure that downtown district is, you know, prospering is a huge thing. And then also bringing the community to downtown, making sure that it's a place that, you know, a place that people want to go, to gather, to, you know, to shop, to that we know, like, instead of having to go, for me, one of my biggest things is, do I have to go to Costco or do I not, you know? And it's like, I'd rather not make a trip all the way to Costco or, you know, what bigger stores. Hey, is there a store downtown that I can go to? Ace Hardware's a go-to right now because I'm doing a lot of, you know, home projects and stuff. I don't necessarily need to go to Home Depot. I can go right here in downtown. You know, there's a whole lot of things that, you know, sometimes will pop up. Like there's a place that sells acai right now. I didn't know that until I walked downtown and saw that. And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I'm not sure if there's a video or anything out there yet, but those are some things that I would want to get out to people that are, you know, might be looking for something to eat, and not really wanting to go to an establishment that's, or like a chain restaurant. They want to go to something local. So getting that local feel, having people frequent downtown, that'd be basically the main goal onto this committee.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Council, have any questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
No,
Do we have any other candidates on the phone or online who would like to make a statement? We have 3 applicants.
The opening's one.
One.
I don't see one,
You
Mayor.
can't apply. Okay. Bring the matter back to council discussion.
Yeah, you know what, after looking at this gentleman, and I was expecting the other people to show up, but he did, and I read his resume, Matthew, and hey, the fit, man. He's a young generation for the,
Sounds good.
you know, for the downtown bid. He's the future.
You know what I like? I like that vision that Mr. Rodriguez has for our downtown, and he's there doing it every day. And he wants to find a way to improve our downtown. I mean, a lot of people talk about how they want to improve our downtown. It's great. It's awesome. But actually doing something and getting involved. I mean, he's also the chair of the Selma Healthcare District, and he was the class president at Reedley Junior College. So, I mean, this guy, like so many other people in Selma, they won't ever talk about themselves, so we will. But they just do so much for our community. And this is, I think he's a great example of what we need in our town, which is that next generation coming in, stepping up, taking leadership. And I really think it was a great talk tonight, and I really can't wait to see. You're also a videographer. I can't wait to see your contribution on this business improvement district, along with our leadership of Director Moreno here. So I wholeheartedly support you. I support the other two applicants as well. But I just think Mr. Rodriguez came out tonight, spent the time, and in my opinion, I would be for him to be on the bid. Is there a motion to nominate?
Make a motion?
I'll make the motion to
I'll second
nominate.
it.
Okay. Right. Okay. I will say yes to my motion. Councilman Trujillo,
Yes.
Councilman Avalos,
Yes.
Councilman Oseguera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Looking forward to your contributions. Way to go. And with that, we're going to move on with our items from our original meeting. If anyone can remember back to 5 p.m., that was when we had new business items as well. We'll start with it was 2-1, and now it is going to be item 4-2. And that will be consideration necessary action on resolution approving the contract with Quadnop QK to provide planning, community development, building and permit services on an as-needed basis not to exceed 100,000, actually it's $200,000, 100,000 each year, 200,000 in the aggregate for up to 2 years, pending employment of a community development director. Report, please.
Mayor, members of council, as you know, tonight is Deputy City Manager Keene's last meeting with us, and he'll be leaving employment with the City of Selma. And so we will be, if council approves all of the items behind this tonight, which are the Community Development Director position and salary, we'll be opening up that recruitment tomorrow. And then running that, we anticipate that position should be filled by mid-February, running through the normal recruitment process. We do not have a high-level staff member in our planning department that would be able to step into Deputy City Manager's role to be able to continue running our development services division. So we're proposing that we put together a contract with QK as a stopgap. We asked though for to be able to have a longer contract with them. It's on an as-needed basis, and so we would only be billed for actual hours used. It does have a 10-day out on the contract, and so if we decide at one point that we don't need their services, we can simply cancel the contract. And so, again, we are only billed for actual hours that we are going to be used, and so it wouldn't be a continuation into the years if we didn't need it.
Okay, thank you. City Manager, do you have any input on this item?
Nothing to add. I think Margie said it perfectly.
Thank you. All right, does council have any comments on this item? Got a question. Did we put this out to bid?
No, we did not. We had only, a week to get the agenda item done, and we're looking at trying to just put that stopgap in. If you'd like, we could go out to bid, but that means we'll be without planning services probably for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
So I understand that the city engineer position is going to go out to bid at the end of December. So that'll be another process where that goes out. At that time, it sounds like the city is going to be looking to hire a planner rather than to contract it out. Will the city also, in addition to that, be contracting out the planning services as well? And will that be part of the bid package for the engineering?
I'm
Are they
confused by
two
your
different?
question. Yeah, you indicated that we're going to be hiring a planner. Did you mean an engineer?
No,
Not
a
sure.
community
Wait.
development director
Yeah,
with,
community.
We-
with
we
skills in
should-
planning.
We just have completed a recruitment for a city planner.
Okay.
Second interviews are Thursday. And so the city manager and Mr. Keen will be doing those second interviews and then making a recommendation if they want to move forward with a hire on that. We also have finished an associate planner or assistant planner position that they'll also be interviewing for. And so decisions will be made this week, whether they'll move forward with staffing in those areas. We're more concerned at the high level, being able to have staff directed and continuing with our development that has been occurring. And so that's why we did that. We certainly can take a look with the engineering contract to try and tie something in with that. But typically they're standalone contracts.
Got it.
It's possible you can do something like that, but generally you go out for separate RFQs and RFQs requests for qualifications for engineering and then a separate one for planning. There are some firms that can do both of them. But
So I'm
sometimes
just
it
looking
works
at
best
at
to-
the timing, since
Yeah.
there's an RFQ going out for engineering. And there was virtually no bid. We just went to QK as a stopgap. Maybe it would benefit the city to make it a bidding process and send out an RFQ for planning in the future as well.
Yeah, no, we could do that. Like Margie said, though, it would delay some stuff, or
Not in lieu of
I-
this, but maybe in addition to this.
Yeah.
A more permanent situation, because this
We
looks
can-
like this is kind of ad hoc for
right.
the time being, till the city gets a community development director.
Don't we currently contract with QK for planning services already?
We do not. We contract with QK for engineering services, and part of that contract is other tasks as assigned, but it's under the engineering contract.
Yeah, so you could conceivably put this under the other tasks as assigned right now because they do have a component with QK that's able to do that. Ideally, I see this as a short-term solution till we get a community development director in place. But we have to go through that process of recruiting and then interviewing, vetting, bringing them in to the city and then getting them caught up. This helps us to continue progress and making progress on ongoing projects that we do have, and until we get that person in place.
Mayor, that's the intent. You know, it's a stopgap measure. And you'll notice in the contract, there is a provision that allows you to terminate this contract on giving 10 days notice for any or no reason at all.
Mhm.
And so if you find yourself with a new community development director and a new planner, you should be fully staffed and you should be able to discontinue these services.
And I didn't see that there's any kind of contract carrying charge that it costs money just to have the contract in place.
No.
Only if you use it,
No retention fee or anything like that. It's just,
service maintenance.
yeah.
And it's standard hours and materials and that sort of thing, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I just have a quick question or suggestion. Some of this can't be serviced by Horn? Isn't he our engineer?
Bobby and Horn.
Yamabe and Horn specializes in civil engineering, and Yamabe and Horn usually uses outside firms like QK for planning services, plan checks, that type of thing. So they don't specifically have a section dedicated to planning.
Right. Anything else? Anybody have a comment on this? Anybody online or on the phone with input on item 4.2?
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
Is there a motion for item 4.2?
Motion to approve?
Councilman Oscarra,
Yes.
Councilman Trujillo, Councilman Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson, yes. Okay, motion passes. On to item 4.3, discussion and necessary action on updated amended salary schedule for Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. With the upcoming vacancy of the Deputy City Manager of Development Services, we're recommending filling this position with the Community Development Director. We have taken a look at both the classification and the salary for this position. The only update we're recommending for the classification is it currently requires a bachelor's degree. At the last council meeting, Councilmember Avalos had requested that we take a look at adding other items in there to make people be able to be eligible for those type of positions. So we've added a component of years of experience into that. And so the bachelor's degree becomes a recommendation, but not a requirement. Years of experience can outweigh that. We also did a salary survey to all of our neighboring cities, and we're recommending to move that range to be in better competition with the surrounding communities. And so we're asking you to adopt Resolution 2025-123, approving our master salary schedule effective November 18th and amending the salary for the position of Community Development Director.
I want to say thank you to Director Fowler for doing that salary survey study and bringing that salary range back in competition and comparison with the surrounding cities. Thank you for that. Do council have any questions? Anybody from the public with any questions on this item? Bring the matter back to anybody online or on the phone.
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
With that, we'll bring it back to council. Is there a motion for this item?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Councilman Avalos,
Yes.
Councilman Trujillo, Councilman Oseguera,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson, yes. Okay. Item passes. Moving on to 4.4, discussion and necessary action on options for supplementing or compensating retirees covered by the city's self-insured health coverages, the cost of increased premiums, and copays. Trifecta for Director Fowler tonight.
Mayor, members of council, at your November 4th meeting, a representative from the Retirees Health Insurance Committee requested the city council increase the stipend that they're given for their health, dental, and vision costs. They're currently getting $80 for their stipend. We took a look at how many retirees we currently have in our system. We have 35 retirees on coverage that range anywhere from health, dental, and vision. We have a lot of retirees that are only on dental and vision coverage. And it almost covers their entire cost for that. The current cost is $33,600 per year for those retirees. My understanding is that when the council implemented this was because when you were under the CalPERS health insurance, there was a component that they required that you contribute for retirees. We did contact CalPERS to see what their inflation amount was, and it is 0.5%. And so it's a very minor amount that they're increasing. Most retirees are experiencing the increase for the dental is $22 and 69 cents per month and $2.20 for vision coverage. I'm here just to provide you with that information and then answer any questions for you.
Okay. Council have any questions for Deputy City Manager Fowler? I got a question. How much would it take to bring the retirees back to where they would they have the same payment that they had last year without that gap that wasn't like a $20 gap?
It's for single coverage, they're
Per
paying
person.
$15.59 because I do the billing for that. So they're paying $15 now. So they're going to go from the $15.59, adding the $22.69. And so it would take, that amount, the full amount of the increase in order to cover that.
So it's gonna go from 15 to 22, meaning it's a $7 increase, or is it gonna go to
No,
37?
additional.
37.
Got it. Okay. So to bring it back on parity with last year, we would need to replace that 22. We would need to cover that 22.
Yes, and I will remind you though that your employees did take a 15% increase also. So the unions have had conversation that the employees have taken an increase. I understand the retirees are different, but we also have to take that in consideration.
If city council looked to supplement that so seniors didn't have as much of a burden because everything's gone up so much, food's gone up, and they worked their whole lives. Many of them work for years and years for the city, and they deserve a good retirement and not to be burdened. Would that same supplement have to be offered to the other groups in MOUs, the other
No,
employee
it would
groups?
not. The retirees are a separate group.
Okay.
And so at the council's pleasure, you can increase their stipend.
And again, so to bring it back in parity with last year, so they wouldn't be paying more, it'd be a $22 per retiree.
It would be close to $25 because it's $22.69 for dental and
All right.
$2.20
For the vision.
for the vision.
So 25, do we know how much roughly that would be on an annual basis? We don't have Director Moreno to mentally do that for us. Can we ask AI what it would be to do that? Do it for us in a sec. Oh, shoot.
That would be an additional cost to the city of $10,500.
Okay. And then we would come back and review it next year and potentially it could go up even more.
That is correct. Every year we bring you the health insurance rates in
Doesn't seem like it's going
late
down.
October.
I think
No, and-
everything's is going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Um,
Everybody's is going up.
15%. Did anybody have any input on this item?
When that stipend was given, it was only given to the retirees effective when we went off of PERS. So anybody who's retired since then is not eligible for this stipend. That's what that was, but it's like I've mentioned before, we were getting part of our premiums paid by the city through PERS. And that, I think this was just to supplement that so that we don't have so much coming out of our retirement checks. So I appreciate anything that the council does.
What do the folks who retired do? Folks who recently retired do and don't get that stipend?
I don't know. I don't know how that was done
Would-
for them. We just did it for us because we were getting that supplement from the city toward PERS. So
the
that our
PERS come in.
premium wasn't as much for us.
Got it.
But
When we went off PERS to the self-funded plan,
and
that
and
went
then
away.
people started retiring, so they were already paying a different amount, I guess. So they weren't included in that stipend.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any retirees that we've had in the last 4 months have opted not to stay on the city's health insurance, dental and vision. They've all had coverage from spouses. And so we haven't had to add anybody to coverage yet.
Okay, bringing the matter back to council. Oh, do we have anybody online or on the phone with a comment about additional costs for the retirees?
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
You bring the matter back to council.
Just bring it for discussion for next budget.
Where would we,
Discussion.
if it were 10,500 that we approved, right now, we are midway through our budget right now. So the actual impact would be about 5,200. Would it be half of that until July? And then we could look at
That
it
is
again.
Yes.
And where would we find that amount in our current budget?
We'd have to look at the budget.
course.
and, work with Maggie on that. To identify that source and then potentially have it in the mid-year budget, but we would have to probably bring that back for a budget amendment because mid-year is not until
5,200, okay.
March or so.
So that would require a budget amendment then to even add the 5,200.
Isn't it the last city council meeting, she had brought in the third quarter, she brought in a quarter to talk about? Yeah,
Brought in the budget
the
amendment.
budget amendment.
Yeah.
So my question would be, as we're adding it, where would, the amendment, where would it be coming from at the same time? So it's kind of almost better we go back and probably bring it back and discuss, find with staff where we can find.
Yeah.
Look for it.
Yeah,
why
let
don't
me
we look
meet
for it?
with
We wanna-
Maggie.
In my opinion, I want to do it, but we need to find where it's coming from and when we can enact it.
Yes.
January anyway.
Okay, the stipend increase isn't
Yeah,
effective until
because that's
January.
that's when the premiums go up.
Wednesdays.
Great, so we'll just look at it in December. All right,
How we'll handle that is I have to notify the retirees of what the rates are going to be. And so I will let them know it's going to be 80 and that there may be a pending item that it may be a little bit more based on council's discussion.
yeah, if you could just pinpoint it exactly how much it would be till the 7/1 budget renewal and then,
Where it's coming.
yeah, we need to know the source of the funds and where we could get that. Okay. All right, so we will continue that item. Is everybody in consensus to continue this item until the next meeting? Great. And with that, we'll move on to our future agenda items. Council requests for future agenda items not subject to public comment. Items require consensus. Does anyone have a future agenda item or items tonight?
Jim,
I do.
Jim's got 10, so be patient.
I got 10.
No.
Look at this guy.
We're past the
No,
check
I-
register.
I actually-
I was trying to find it, so.
Okay. Well, one thing I do, I had it written down, but in my head.
Okay.
I like to bring David back and from engineering and give us more of an update on the next projects in the city of Selma, target dates that we're gonna, timelines, I mean, give me more or less timelines. And I also want to bring back the Selma Boys High School water polo team, because you're not going to believe this, are the first in the history of City of Selma to win a championship.
Way to go. That's
You know,
awesome.
They made history, and
I believe your grandson is
you
on
know,
that team.
and four of those guys were baseball players.
That is one tough
But
sport.
also, I like to bring recognized one of our employees that work for the city from the fire department, Caesar. I want him to
Ah,
come
yes.
back to the council.
Yep.
And we should appreciate him as council members and our colleague out there, his colleagues. He retired, and not by choice, but he retired. Well, we should recognize his hard work in our community. He served in our community for a long time. And I also want to recognize a citizen in our community that really should be, you have unsung heroes in our community. You don't know who they are until you come across them. This lady, her name is Donna. She worked she was a bus driver, Southwest and Selma High School bus driving. But she worked in those 45 years, she taught kids here in the Selma High School how to swim.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And I think we should bring her to the council, give her a proclamation, and recognize her, who she is.
That's awesome.
Because we have people in our community, because really, I stop and think about, kids drowning and stuff like this. And when we have people that could teach little kids, she taught little babies how to swim.
You saw it happen in Big Sur.
And
You
that's,
see the father and the daughter.
and
that
saving people's lives,
Yep.
And that's
Learn to
what
know
it's
how
all
to
about, Scott.
What was her name?
Donna Jean,
Awesome.
Varela, yes, Varela.
Thank you.
That's awesome. What a great achievement. That's incredible.
And you know,
That's so Selma.
you know, I mean, you know, Scott, I'll
Humble.
be honest with you, Scott, you know, remember we went to a funeral in Fresno that,
Yeah.
over there in Fresno, and he was an officer of Fresno PD.
Yep.
And he was another unsung hero in our
Big
community.
time. Very humble.
And, you know, we have people in our communities that they don't talk about themselves. They are doers. They do it.
Yeah.
And we don't find out later on either when they're passing or whether something happens. That's when we find out. And I want to recognize people who they are in our community.
Chief McDaniel, what DLM
That's all
stand
I
for?
gotta say.
Sounds good.
Mayor,
Councilmember
before we move on,
Sure.
I just want to verify, David Horn timelines on projects,
Projects.
and then, Selma Polo Team recognition,
Yeah, it's high school.
high school.
You put high school in there.
Yeah.
Go check it.
Recognize Caesar. Do we have a last name?
Caesar.
Caesar Luna.
Luna? And then recognize swim instructor, Donna Barella.
Yes, Donna Jean Barella.
All right, and then, I just need to confirm consensus from council.
Got it. Do we have consensus for that?
You got it.
We've got consensus.
Thank you.
It's unanimous.
Councilman Oseguera, any items?
I have like
Future
100 of them, but I'm just kidding. I like to put my breeder, so
It was a pretty tight deadline this time. Yeah. Wow.
I could get that on there and I can't think of anything else, but I'm sure before the deadline, I'll send you some more stuff.
And which one was that again? I'm sorry.
The breeder,
The breeding or anti-breeding.
Anti-breeding.
ordinance.
The dog breeders.
And I don't need consensus on that. I've saw on previous ones that there was already consensus and you're working on it, so.
Johnny was all for it.
Perfect. We need that. Okay, let's get a draft of that AI policy. I really think we need to get moving on that. AI is moving so fast. Social media policy, really important. I don't know if the two are similar, if they'd be crafted together, but I think we need both in our city, definitely with guidelines for that. And then, in terms of the Madison AI that we saw tonight, I'd like to see the contract. Just to review the contract as a discussion item, because we started with 27,000 last meeting. This meeting it went to 50,000. I just want to make sure we have the rates down and see what they're going to be charging the city. I want to make sure we have cost certainty on that. And then that's good for me. Mayor Pro Tem.
And real quick, just
Oh, we need
draft
that.
AI policy and social media policy together. And then Madison AI contract, for costs.
Right. Council have consensus? Are we good with those items?
Yes.
Okay, consensus. Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, I just have a comment in regards to some of the calls that I received this weekend in regards to the big, the dogs that are running all over the place. I mean, there's a high volume of dogs everywhere, and I haven't seen it this bad, but it's getting really bad. The other thing is there was this huge dog over at Walmart, and from what they're saying is that there's two of them, two really big grape,
I've been
like,
getting a lot of calls that
that they thought you're,
my dogs.
yeah,
My-
right.
No, they're, yeah,
But,
they're not my dogs.
they're huge, and apparently what they're saying is that they know who the owners are. They know where these dogs live, and they continue to, they're always out. And that's what I want to know, is if they know who the owners are, and the owners continue to let these dogs out, is there a fine? Yeah, you gotta cite, yes. Because I was there, I witnessed it for myself Sunday at Walmart, and that dog was there. It caused almost accidents. I mean,
Big as his dog.
yeah, they're as big as his dogs.
Those are big dogs.
They're very big.
Yeah,
It's a big dog.
if you could have them, contact the city and then provide that information, we can get
Yeah,
it to the
I mean, I
proper
have a
people.
video. I can send it,
Mhm.
but it caused, poor thing, you don't want him to get hit.
Oh, no.
It's a
So.
very friendly dog,
he's
and
a
the
very
police chief
friendly
on
dog.
on the way out tonight said that
Mhm.
that owner is gonna get cited. They
Okay.
know the owner is, and the next step is citing. He lets him out.
I don't know. I don't know that they said that it's somebody that lives
Step is
down
the
the
citation.
street from Walmart or somewhere.
That's gonna cost him money. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll,
Hey,
We'll
just
follow
for the
up with PD.
record,
Okay.
I've been getting a lot of calls that it's our dogs. Our dogs are, our dogs are with us.
The
We're
what?
good.
I'm sorry.
did you have any future agenda items, Councilmember?
I have two individuals that I like to kind of, but I can do it the next meeting.
Okay.
I can do it next meeting.
With that, we'll move on to council reports. Councilmember Trujillo?
Yeah, since I wasn't here the last meeting, I have a couple of, FFA. I helped donate a lot to them and they did I want to give a shout out to the FFA, the kids, the high school. They had a fundraiser and, I think they've raised like $15,000 and these kids, they did a tremendous, job. So I want to give a shout out to the parents, to them, the kids and the group, the whole group. They did a great job. I was really impressed with them. So I really want to just, give a big old shout out to them. Um, the other one is just in general, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving next week. I know it came really quick. And congratulations to the new city manager. I'll be seeing you Thursday at 8 a.m. I don't know how to order coffee. If not, I'd bring you, my assistants bring me coffee. But we'll be seeing each other and Thursday. Um, There are two things, close to me that I really donate to at this time of the year. Selma Cares for Selma, it's the homes people in Selma right now, they're very needy. We're really short with money, so if anybody can, if you see something out there that, Selma Cares, is asking for some donations, I really love for you guys to help out. The other one is the seniors Thanksgiving, that's 375 to 400,000, 400 people that they serve, seniors, and, it's really unique because the first time I was out to the senior give, a lot of the seniors, when they receive the meal, they don't really only want the meal, they want the individual to sit there and talk to them. And I participated many times, and I just want everybody to know that if you see out there, they're asking for donations or something, just open your heart a little bit because right now is a time of need, especially the way times are right now. I think both of these organizations are in need of it, and it's really kind of my heart, so I really push for this. So just a big shout out to the Selma Cares, donate please, and the seniors Thanksgiving is really, really, really neat. I can't believe how great these organizations help our community. So that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Nothing to report.
Okay, I'll do mine. I attended the Christmas Story, great show, awesome production there. Kids did a great job. Director, our council member's son did a great job directing it. Encourage everyone to go out and see it while they still can. It follows the movie to a T. I'd forgotten a lot of stuff. I watch it every year on TBS. I watch it like every 5 years or something. So it's just a blast to see it live. That was a part of it. I had forgotten the bunny suit one, the pink bunny suit when he puts that on. We walked through, four of us council members walked through the old Selma High School. Jim, we didn't have the city engineer here or Director Fletcher, but the next step I think would be for the city to go take a look, the city engineer, maybe even the city manager if you're available. It's the old Selma High School across the street. It would be potentially a recreation center for the city, but I think we need some professional eyes to look at what it would take to make that building habitable and turn it into a sports center. The safe routes to school, the deputy city manager mentioned that it isn't quite done yet. We vote on it on Thursday. I can't see any way it won't pass. But Selma did get the 644,800, and that was definitely a team effort. The city put in the time and put in the research. The council gave the input. I know I gave my time to go early for the special meetings for Safe Routes to School at COG. And, because I really believed in this and I know we all do, and it's gonna pay off. And it's gonna pay off in terms of making it the crosswalk safer for our kids and for everybody in our community. And I think that's a great thing. And I think the bid did well tonight, getting the new member, Matthew Rodriguez from our Next Generation. Thank you. I love to see people volunteering like that. So thank you for stepping up, and want to say thank you to Deputy City Manager Keen for all your work for our city. We appreciate everything you've done for us, and we wish you well in your future endeavors. And then I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving too. Councilmember Oseguera,
That was a lot.
you want me to go again?
Why not? It's not 12 o'clock yet. No, I just want to say, welcome to our new city manager. Jerome, you're gonna be missed. I won't have anybody, to pick their brain for all the projects and whatever's going on. That's right, yeah. I mean, when I first came to, city council, fairly new, I'm the new guy, even though I'm probably older than most of them. But, first meeting, Jerome and the engineer were using all these acronyms, And I'm looking at them like, oh, wait a minute, what does that mean, They were saying Sequa and Signa, and I don't know what the heck they were saying. I don't know what they were talking. Now I know a little bit more about. So thank you so much for taking the time to teach me a little bit. I attended the Starbucks grand opening ribbon cutting. That was pretty good. Second Street, pretty close to my house. What else? What else do we attend? Oh, I went to the Councilman Avalos and I went to the community prayer. And it was nice that they took the time to pray for council. And I told one of the pastors, pray for us because we need it. Times are tough now. There's a lot of need for us to do a lot of projects, but money's tight. So just give us a little bit of time, and in time we'll take care of everybody. Thank you.
We took some of my thunders, like, that's what happens. I'm not first. No, yes, like Osi said, we went to the community prayer, and that was a good event. I like to see it, next year. I want to call it the universal prayer, where all denominations, not, all come together. Because when we went there, we missing some denominations. I don't know if they weren't invited or whatever, but I'd like to see more participants in it. I want to change the name, universal prayer, where we don't discriminate for anybody's religion or ethnic background. That's who I am. But also, on another note, of course, I went to the old gymnasium over here across the street over here. It used to be a high school way back in the days, but there's potential there, but we have to look at it as budget and everything's in life. Nothing's in stone, whatever feasible, what is not, it's up to the public sometimes. And also, Starbucks, had ground open ribbon cutting for Starbucks. We were there, and also I went to I want to say the Boys and Girls Club. I stopped by the Boys and Girls Club. I make a spot check. As a council person, I stop by because they're the young generation, they're the youth. And the reason why I stopped there, I want to see what the kids, some of those kids have broken homes, troubles, no place to go. And that's their outlet, you know what I mean? Instead of being on the streets, getting in trouble, it's a great tool in our community to help these young kids, because not all the kids are going to play baseball or play sports or like this, or music or in arts. I get it, but at least it's a place to go for some of these kids in life. That because I seen the Boys and Girls Club when they first came, and I see some of those kids that changed their lives dramatically, and they're now actually, they're part of our society, good stewards of our society. They're married now, they have kids, their lives have changed. It's good what we do, and we should help them, where we can. They're the future. And, that's all I gotta say tonight. But I thank Jerome.
Sure.
Thank you for, your hard work in the community of Selma, your expertise in planning. I had to ask a lot of questions out of you. You, I mean, it's my habit, okay? I don't know, Avalos don't have all the answers, but I will find them. That's one thing about me, okay? I thank you very much for your services, okay? And I thank the staff that work for the city, everybody. I don't care who you are, you guys are doing a great job, and keep it up, because I'll be watching you.
Councilmember
Before we
Oseguera.
close, I just want to say, what was I gonna say? Now you make me forget already.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we're doing interviews tomorrow for Selma Animal Shelter Manager. We'll be here at 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Hopefully they'll buy us lunch. Hasn't been approved yet, but city manager, can you please approve it? Because
7 to 10 o'clock.
that's gonna be a long day, so
Will be a long one.
just kidding. Thank you.
All right, oral communications, final one for the evening. Anybody have anything to say?
Ten 57 Mill Street, Rose Robertson. Jason Rogers, welcome. We are excited and grateful to have you. The safe routes to school, that's awesome to have almost a $700,000 for the safe routes to school. Now, my question is, I get texts also all the time, and it's heartbreaking that we have crosswalks, the push buttons that don't work for months and months. Who's supposed to communicate that? I mean, why are they like that? We have fall coming, there's fog's coming, we have rain. Doesn't anybody think about the kids crossing, the parents, the grandparents crossing the kids? That should be priority. They should never be broken. Is it the school that communicates with the city? It should be immediately. Is it the city? I mean, I don't understand why these poor parents are constantly texting somebody saying they try calling and I don't know if it's, I mean, I'll get more information if I have to, if they still are not working. The um, messages are full. They're trying to call the city, they're full. That should be priority. So hopefully we could get something going because I still to this day still hear Anita um, with her heartbreaking story of her granddaughter getting hit by one of the vehicles. So hopefully that could be a priority. Thank you.
You. And I think we heard from the Public Works Director tonight that he's contacted electrical contractor, electrical companies to come out and fix those. So we'll be following up on that. That's necessarily job one. So it's really, really important. Everybody, thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next meeting. Bye-bye.